We welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season number 4 playoff race from the Dover Motor Speedway. We are live from Dover, Delaware tonight, and it's race number 2 of the round of 8 for the Cup Series playoffs as they continue tonight from the Monster Mile, the Dover Motor Speedway. What a week it's been so far, of course, with iCar and then the Xfinity Series last night. Got the main event of the week, of course, the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series midway through the round of 8. And got some racing at Dover to come up tonight. All right, this is, like I said, Dover Motor Speedway. Underway for the warm-up session shortly, of course. Be going over the race, all the race stuff you got to know, the points coming into this race, of course. Next round, of course, the Championship 4. There are 2 races remaining before the Championship 4 tonight at Dover Motor Speedway, and of course, next week from Texas. So 2 races remain to punch your way into the round, or to the Championship 4, of course. 1 driver already locked into the Final 4. That, of course, is Matthew White. Did it on points. Had so many playoff points coming into this round of 8. Is easily able to lock himself in after Talladega, so he's safe. He doesn't have to worry about anything else. For the rest of this round, he is, of course, locked into his 4th straight Championship 4 appearance for your Season 1 Cup Series champion. Matthew White will be going for the title in 2 weeks from Homestead Miami Speedway, but the rest of the drivers, of course, not locked in. Of course, we'll be going over what the race is going to look like tonight, all you gotta know, and then, of course, like I said, the playoff standings, who's on the bubble, who's below the cut line, where everybody is, for your 8 remaining playoff drivers. All right, we'll be underway at Dover Motor Speedway for this warm-up session in about a minute time. Stay tuned, the Monster Mile warm-up session coming up next from Dover. Of course, race 23 of the Cup Series season. We're live at Dover. Talladega, man, you talk about it last week. What a calm race it was for the first 94 laps. Then coming to the white flag, an absolutely massive crash. The first incident that involved more than 1 car of the night. There wasn't a single incident caution last week at Talladega. Of course, the only caution was the halfway break. All right, cars on the racetrack here at Dover Motor Speedway tonight for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series playoffs. Give us about 30 seconds. All right, this is Dover. 3 races remaining in this season. 2 remain in the round of 8 before the Championship 4 at Homestead Miami Speedway. Final 9.5 miles of the season, of course, after this, just Texas and Homestead Miami to come. All right, here we go in Dover. We are live from the Dover Motor Speedway tonight for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series live in Dover. Cars on the racetrack from Dover Motor Speedway. And there's your winner of the Xfinity Series last night, one of his part-time Cup Series starts, Aiden Donahue in the 82. Heading down the backstretch here at Dover. One of his favorite racetracks, home track as well. Another driver who's a home track is Cameron Chandler, driver of the number 8. All right, this is Dover. The Cup Series playoffs continue. Cars on the racetrack here at Dover Motor Speedway. There's the 48 new paint scheme for him this week, Dylan Banks. Of course, he's had a good playoffs. Probably should have won Martinsville and even Las Vegas. Just so close to so many wins, just got away from in lane. As he heads down the front stretch here at Dover. Put down his first time over the board, currently P7. He was over P6. Let's look at your playoffs entering tonight here from Dover Motor Speedway. Of course, like I said, Matthew White locked into the next round of the playoffs. He's got nothing to worry about. Just can cruise and try to win these next 2 races at Dover and Texas next week. Then you got Braden Huntsicker, winner at Talladega last week. Plus 33 the good on the cut lane. If he's able to hold that advantage, just even, like exit plus 33, he'll be locked into the Championship 4 and won't have to worry about Texas next week. Cameron Chandler plus 24 to the good on the cut line. And then you got Sean Hillquist. What a race, and getting through all the chaos on the final lap last week at Talladega to find himself 3 into the good, a Cup Series rookie, the only Cup Series rookie this season to make the playoffs, is now currently in a championship 4 spot with 2 races left to go in this round. Then you got Dylan Banks, -3, was involved in that big one at Talladega last week. John Butler also -3. Same thing with Ashton Miller. Had a great race in Talladega after getting that penalty after Martinsville was setting him back. Trenton Wilkin, -11, was involved in that big one at Talladega. That ultimately really, really hurt him. Well, it needs 2 really solid races to have a chance. And here's Dylan Banks, like I said, enters -3 to the cut line. Your defending Cup Series champion. In that 48 for Ethan Trendler Racing versus teammate Sean Hillquist right ahead of him. Here's Cameron Chandler in the 8 on the racetrack currently. Now down the backstretch he'll go. Back into 3 and 4 here. Of course, Cameron was known as such a good Dover racer. Won the pole for the Xfinity Series race last night, dominated the iCar race, and won that, of course, and of course clinched the iCar championship, his 2nd straight in that series on Tuesday. Here's the Nia Bryce Benton, finished 2nd in the Xfinity race at Dover last night. Man, he also finished 2nd at Talladega last week in the Cup Series as well. It's a lot of 2nd place finishes. Finished 2nd in Nashville, 2nd in Chicagoland, 2nd other places as well. Still looking for that first career win. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, got knocked out of the first round of the playoffs in the round of 12. It was one of the first 4 out after Martinsville due to missing that race and just because of injury, and then having issues the first 2 races. Just not enough. Came into these playoffs with somehow 0 playoff points after having such a good regular season. Didn't win a single stage or race all season long. And here is the dominant driver as of late, the 7 of Matthew White. He had 2 wins up until race, I think, 11. Went 10 races completely winless. Then, after he started running this F-Cancer paint scheme, he has been absolutely on fire. Won 6 races in this scheme ever since Watkins Glen. Here in that 7 car. Just getting started in Dover. 21 minutes still to go in this warm-up session from the Dover Motor Speedway as the Cup Series playoffs continue. Here's Matthew White down the front stretch. Of course, as always, you're going to be able to tell who's a playoff driver, who is not a playoff driver. Playoff drivers will have the P next to the name on the ticker. They'll also have their purple backgrounds on their number, and they're also going to have the playoff banners that you can see on Matthew White's car and you don't see on Bryce Benson's car. Here's the 09 of John Butler. Only enters -3 to the cut line, but coming to a track usually Ford struggles at. I know Johnson Motorsports probably has some concerns with tonight. They're usually not too good on these type of racetracks, Fords. The 09, John Butler down the backstretch in the 3 and 4. Behind him, that is the 18 of Brandon Piper, kind of a little bit camouflaged. He moves to the inside of the 09, 2 Ford Mustangs. Of course, there's the 9 Benton again. Here comes Connor Asbell on the racetrack. He had a solid run at Talladega last week, leading some laps. Winner in Fontana this year. Of course, as it was well documented, missed the playoffs, though. And here's Hayden Donahue back at a 1 and 2. Dylan Banks now goes top of the board. Donahue currently 5th on the timing sheet. All right. Here is Zane Rahman in the 1 down the front straightaway, back in a 1 and 2. He had a terrible night in the Xfinity race, got involved in multiple crashes, DNF'd out of that one. Just an awful, awful race for him. He really had nowhere to go in a lot of those wrecks as well. The Xfinity Series, midway through that race, that was unbelievable. This race is actually double the distance of the Xfinity Series, so we'll see what happens tonight. Of course, these are Cup Series drivers, though. But we did see a lot of Cup Series drivers make starts last night, including Cameron Chandler, Dylan Banks, Hayden Donahue, Bryce Benton. And that race is littered with Cup drivers. Here's Richard Cherry, of course, full-time in the Xfinity Series with the 9 of Bryce Benton ahead of him. 2 Team Chevy Motor Club teammates. Still waiting on a lot of cars left to come in here. There's the 1, that's Zane Rahman once again. Still waiting on, I mean, even playoff drivers are still waiting on, oh, as it's going to completely lag, we're still waiting on Trent Wilkin, Sean Hillquich, and others. They'll be here. Still 18 minutes to go. We're not even halfway through this warm-up session. From the Dover Motor Speedway, around to his Cameron Chandler in that A. Currently sits P3 on the board. Top 5 drivers separated by less than 1/10 of a second at the top of the board. So far, our fastest Dylan Banks. This, of course, is the final NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series 9.5-mile race with the next-gen car for this foreseeable future as, of course, moving into the Gen 4 next season. Man, what a show the Gen 4 could put on here at Dover. I mean, what a show could put on at any of these racetracks. The NASCAR Gen 4 car. Here we go, Dylan Banks in the 48 so far, fastest in practice. All right, so joining me in the booth in a little bit for race time, just like last weekend, be Brody Webster. Also have CJ Erdman in the booth as well, and then you're going to have Andrew Stacy on pit road. He'll be giving our pit road reports. So it'll be me, Erdman, and Webster in the booth, and Stacy down on pit road for tonight's race in Dover. Here's 7 of Matthew White back on the track. Currently second on the board, just behind Dylan Banks. He historically kind of struggles here at Dover compared to most other tracks. See what he's able to do tonight, though. Definitely not one of his favorite tracks, as I know. There's William Reagan. Had a good season, won a stage or two. Made the playoffs, got, of course, eliminated in the first round pretty easily. He still put a nice effort, even almost on strategy. He nearly had a shot to win at Charlotte. Unfortunately, that all went away at the end. Still a good year for him. All right, 16 minutes still to go in this warm-up session from the Dover Motor Speedway. Racetrack, there's the 9 of Bryce Benton, there's the 29 of Richard Cherry, Sean Rowe down the back stretch to 20. Again, there's the 72, that's Connor Asbell. All right. Sean Rowe as well, making his way through 1 and 2 now down the backstretch in that 20 machine. Of course, Sean Rowe, we've seen him throw all throughout the playoffs and some part-time starts. Ran well. Oh, he's going to go on the wall. That's some laps at Charlotte. Ran second at one point at Martinsville. Of course, ran up front Talladega, but that's pretty handily to run up front Talladega. Not too hard to do that. Comes Knox Thompson. Pretty interesting, bright pace team for the 08 this week. Here's Dylan Banks starting to drive to the bumper of Aiden Donahue. Donahue currently 6th on the board. I mean, that's still less than a 1/10 back, so he's not that far off, obviously. It's just so close to the top of the board. We came into this race expecting a really, really competitive one. Looks like we're going to probably get that tonight as Banks rolls to the outside of the 82 of Donahue. So, of course, 200 laps tonight, halfway break to the end of lap 100. Top 10 all get stage points. Stage points so crucial for these playoff drivers. It's going to be really crucial, of course, for Dylan Banks to get them. Enters -3 to the gut line tonight. And good speed early on is exactly what he wants to see. Getting the good practice in from Dylan Banks. There's Matthew White. There's the 79 of Ashton Miller. Of course, he did such a good job in Talladega getting points. Only enters now -3. I mean, he would have been in the championship 4 spot as well if he didn't have that penalty after Martinsville. He would have been having a nice gap. He is the one that definitely survived. All the other ETR cars were kind of taken out besides Sean Hillquich, who, of course, enters +3 to the cut line. Let's get Chandler back on track. Sean Rowe. There is the 72 of Connor Asbell as well. All right. cars heading back down the front stretch into 1 and 2 yet again. Oh, as Knox Thompson trying to get the grid there. So about 13 minutes still left to go in this warm-up session at Dover. No contact between Matthew White and Aiden Donahue heading back into 1 and 2. Each two, of course, former teammates at Highline Motorsports. Aiden Donahue, of course, has moved on to his own team, Showtime. Showtime. Oh my God! Hard on the wall goes Matthew White. Anyways, 3 Showtime Motorsports cars going to be in this race tonight. Of course, the boss, Aiden Donahue, his playoff driver, Ashton Miller, and then race winner, Connor Asbell. So that team pretty well stocked. Cameron Chandler currently 3rd on the board, heading back down the backstretch. Seems like it's not too difficult. So Follow is still in Banks, gets loose and crashes ahead of Chandler. Into the wall goes the 8. 12 minutes left to go in this session. All right. Oh, we got a big crash happening. There's the 12th Trenton Wilkin on the racetrack. Now he's around. Of course, Trenton, like we mentioned earlier, enters -11 to the cut line tonight. Our pit reporters and guest commentators will be in the booth shortly as well. Washing up the racetrack is the 72 of Connor Esbel ahead of the 29 of Richard Cherry. Cherry has done races all throughout these playoffs. Oh, hard on the wall they both go. Down the front stretch and hard on the wall again goes Connor Asbell. Now 11 minutes to go in this warm-up session. All right, Andrew Stacy, our pit reporter, is now in to the booth, so still waiting for CJ Erdman and Brody Webster. So Andrew, before you head to pit road, it's Dover, so like, what are your early thoughts? What we could expect here in the Cup Series, the midway point in the round of 8?
I feel like we should expect a lot of differing race strategies. Obviously, it's Dover. It's a short track. You burn tires a lot. And we will be seeing here if drivers prefer to save fuel, or if they go for the 2-stop where they take tires halfway through the stage break, halfway break, and try to maximize their points off of that. So I think it'll be a very interesting race, filled with a bunch of strategy calls. I think if you want to win this race, you're going to have some good strategy calls. You can't just win the race by just going fast. You're not going to drivers who play that.
Yeah, of course, you're not able to make it to the end on fuel of the stage, at least. It's about 20 or so laps short, so we will see if we don't have a first or maybe like a lap 30 to 40 caution. If we don't have one of them in the first half, then we will see green flag pit stops if we don't get a single caution in the first half. As cars pull back on the racetrack here from Dover. About 10 minutes to go, still in this warm-up session. Oh, in the wall goes the 72 of Connor Asbell, and I'll push it back down. Was William Reagan, currently P11 on the board. This is Dover, the Monster Mile. The Monster can take you up anytime he wants and destroy your race. We see it so many times. Cars get loose here at Dover ever so slightly, hit the wall, and then they're done for. Reckon either down the front stretch or down the back stretch. Got to be so careful with that here at Dover Motor Speedway. Such a fast racetrack, such a tight racetrack as well. It is going to be tough for these drivers tonight. Just look how fast Matthew White flies down to the 3 and 4. It's such a fast racetrack. I mean, it looks like a short track. It definitely doesn't race like one, though. The speeds, I mean. They're flying around here. Racetrack now goes Cameron Chandler. All right. Still underway for this warm-up session. 9 minutes to go in Dover. Of course, qualifying coming up next. It'll be 2 laps instead of the 1 lap we had last week at Talladega. Of course, all super speedways only have 1 lap of qualifying. All normal tracks have 2 laps. Here's Payson Lindsay on the racetrack now in that 99 car. He had a solid day at Dover last night in the Xfinity Series, finished 4th. Actually got passed by Cherry on the final lap. Oh, and he's going to go around. Bit of sparks coming out of that thing, and that one will spin into the wall. Oh, and he's going to absolutely slam by Trenton Wilkin. Man, what a crash that was. All right. Miller beginning the battle with the aid of Cameron Chandler. Solo, top of the board, Dylan Banks here in Dover.
Definitely see these drivers get extremely loose off these exits. It looks like they're plowing as Ash Miller lands right in the rear end of the Cameron Chandler. He's spinning off the backstretch and not get it straightened out. Yeah, P3 for Cameron Chandler. Hopefully he can get some good points here today. He'll be needing it to secure his spot in the playoffs for Final Four for the FedEx Cup Series Championship.
Yeah, of course, Cameron Chandler. Let's look at the points grid once again entering tonight here at Dover. Cameron Chandler enters plus 24 to the good. This, of course, is one of his best racetracks here at Dover Motor Speedway tonight. Has a great opportunity to get even more points. Sean Oakledge not in the session. He was supposed to be a little bit late, so not too concerned about that. He is currently, of course, in the championship core. Man, what an impressive season. He currently leads the Rookie of the Year standings. Sean Hillquist, the only rookie in the playoffs. I mean, technically, he still hasn't locked it up because Rookie of the Year isn't decided by the playoffs, it's decided by full season points. Oh, and the wall goes Sean Rowe now crashing. Oh, what a hit for Connor Aswell down the front straightaway. And he's going to collect the 77 of Braden Hunsick. That's the kind of thing we can see in the race at Dover, especially what we don't want to see, though. Brendan Pfeiffer chasing that car up the racetrack at 18. Oh, William Reagan, middle of the track. Now Sean Rowe hits the wall. Kind of getting a little messy here, but it's about just over 6 minutes to go in practice. All right. It is Dover tonight in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Playoffs continue. Top 11 drivers separated by less than 0.2 of a second. That's very impressive here at Dover Motor Speedway. Usually you would see a little bit more than that, but obviously not tonight. Top 3 are all playoff drivers. Then you got next playoff driver down the 7th, Trenton Wilkin. Top 5 of the top 10 in the top 10 here in practice so far are playoff drivers. Highest non-playoff driver, Richard Cherry, of course, is basically a Cup Series veteran. He's never actually ran a full season, but he's, of course, full-time in the Xfinity Series. He's ran so many Cup races. Never ran for the Cup Series Championship, though. Never won a race either. Oh, the wall goes Ashton Miller. Here's Braden Hunsicker, of course, as Breast Cancer Awareness Month continues. You got all the pink paint schemes on the racetrack. No, the official week for that was last week in Talladega. But still, it's nice to see them throughout the rest of this month. We're going to see them for the rest of the season as well, because the season ends, of course, with hopes at Miami on October 30th. So we'll see pink paint schemes for the rest of this Cup Series season. Speaking about Braden Hunsicker, currently 13th on the board. Doesn't seem to have too much speed in that 77. Luckily for him, won at Talladega last week. Has a really nice points gap over the cut line. He's also not the best. Highline Motorsports is okay here at Dover. Usually not the greatest. They did win last season, though, with Aiden Donahue. But Aiden Donahue is just so good here at Dover. They're 2 full-time drivers now, Matthew White and Braden Hunsicker. They're all right. Not the best. As Aiden Donahue goes top of the board with 4 minutes to go. What a lap. For half the 10th over Dylan Banks. wondering when Donahue was going to show up to be fastest courser winner in the Xfinity Series last night. Actually, he's won the last 3, not including NASCAR, iRacing, FedEx League races here at Dover. Of course, swept the weekends last season with the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series wins. And then, of course, last night won the Xfinity Series race. As we continue in the Monster Mile, 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the warm-up. And here comes Cameron Chandler, now back down the front stretch. And into turns 1 and 2. Qualifying just about to come up here from Dover. Oh, and Chandler gets slammed into the wall hard. Was hit by Richard Cherry. I haven't seen Cole Clausen on the racetrack so far. Cole, is there anything going on with your race car? Not to see you on the racetrack now with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. I don't know what's going on with Cole Clausen. All right.
A radio issue of some sorts.
Now he's on the racetrack here in the 71. Pretty late, only 2 minutes to go now. Cole running, for some reason, a Minnesota State Trooper paint scheme at Delaware, in Dover. In Delaware, of course. I don't really know why. You can ask him the reason, I'm not really sure. Of course, Cole Clausen got knocked out of the first round of the playoffs this season, but has made the playoffs 4 straight years, made the championship for first 2 seasons, won the championship as famously known, probably the most famous moment in NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series history, one of the most famous moments. Controversial fashion. Of course, last 2 seasons he's been knocked out in the round of 12. Ahead of him is actually Aiden Donahue's first team owner in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, Geo Turpin. Don't see him too often, but when we do, he's all right. Has 3 wins in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series in his career. 1 in Season 1, 1 in Season 2, 1 in Season 3. Can he keep the tradition alive and win in Dover tonight for Season 4? To be one of the only drivers to win in every single season. Other drivers that have achieved that feat, of course, Matthew White, Braden Onsicker. Off the top of my head, though, I think those are the only 2. "40 seconds to go. Warm up at Dover. Still waiting on Sean Hillquist. Not really sure what's going on with him. He's got to connect here in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Senders +3 to the cut. Oh, and Miller. Oh, that's a terrible crash. Price spent it as well. Oh. Matthew White on his lid. And Geo Turpin piles in. That'll just about do it here in practice, though.
Cole Clausen up here in the booth now. We've been having some connection issues, but I think we're all good now. And the reason I'm racing a Minnesota State Trooper car is because Ethan McMillan got involved in a high-speed chase on his way to Dover, and the Delaware State Patrol wrecked around 6 or 7 of their cars, so I had to bring one in from Minnesota for backup. So that is the reason why.
All right, pretty unique reason, to say the least. As we get ready for Dover qualifying, it was Aiden Donahue, went top of the board with 4 minutes to go. Dylan Banks led the practice session for the most part till the end. Here we go, qualifying in Dover. Track position could be key tonight. You definitely want to qualify up front. Who will it be? This car is pull onto the racetrack from Dover Motor Speedway. Looking like he's right there in the 80. Didn't make any laps in practice. Neither did Juan Cobbs Jr. or Sean Hillquist. As down the front stretch, heading down into 1 and 2 goes Cameron Chandler. One of the best drivers at Dover. Can he win the pole? He's up the racetrack a little bit. Of course, got 2 laps to do it. Will we see lap 1 or lap 2 be quicker? In the wall goes Matthew White, and he will back it down. Will actually have to restart his qualifying attempts. Ashton Miller heading through 3 and 4. Of course, Matthew White locked into the next round. The championship for the only driver locked in. Miller across the line. Chandler so far the only one over the board. Miller about a 10th back. We'll see if lap 2 brings any improvements. Asbell goes P2. Piper goes 4th. Here comes Trenton Wilkin down the front straightaway. Giesbrecht goes 5th. Donahue is 4th on lap 1. Wilkin top of the board. So will we see improvement? Now Cameron Chandler spins down the front straightaway to end his qualifying. He'll be best second. Here goes Matthew White across the line. Here's Giesbrecht as well. Turpin is 3rd. Here comes Zane Rahman. Donahue across the line in the 82. He is 3rd. Oh, and now into the wall hard goes Brandon Pfeiffer. There's the 7 of Matthew White. There's Gio Turpin. There's the 77 of Braden Hunsaker. Matthew White, I think, backed it down again. No, he didn't. iRacing's just lagging. Sorry about that. Matthew White is actually slow. No, he's top of the board now. Just updated. iRacing, my God, what are we doing? Not even letting me move my cameras. There we go. Matthew White knocks Trenton Wilkin off provisional pole. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in qualifying at Dover. What a shocker. Matthew White going to be on pole, maybe. When have we ever seen that before? Here comes Sean Rowe down the front stretch, back into 1 and 2. All right. Here comes Sean Rowe. About 2 minutes left to go to make times. There's Matthew White back up here. There's the 1 of Zane Rahman. There's 71 of Cole Clausen backing up. The 9 of Bryce Benton now down the back stretch. He'll go. Oh, Benton actually downshifted for a second as he heads down the front stretch again. Benton is 10th. Sean Rowe is 9th. He'll back it down. Dylan Banks now on the racetrack in that 48. Currently running slow. He is all the way down 16th. Man, that is not a good qualifying effort for Dylan Banks. Swan Cobbs Jr. on the racetrack for the first time. Xander Ron on the wall. Heading down the front stretch yet again. And he'll back it down. About a minute to go here in qualifying from Dover. No one else on the racetrack, I don't believe. Of course, Dylan Banks, I don't know why he was so slow, was 2 seconds back on his lap. Terrible, terrible lap, to say the least, for Dylan Banks. Not really sure what was going on there. Xander Rahman now backs it up in the 1.
Another thing to add on, John Butler, playoff driver, has not qualified. Obviously, there is no time left, basically, to set a lap. John Butler, I think, either messed up both of his laps or is strategically starting from the back to try to maybe do some strategy games here. Like we saw some drivers do that in Martinsville. It didn't work out for them. Some it worked out for. Maybe he's trying to recreate those strategies and try to get some good points here.
Yeah, we will see, of course, the entrance tonight. Only -3 of the cut line after a crazy finish in Talladega. That really unraveled everything. All right. So that'll do it. Matthew White on pole in Dover here tonight. The number 7 will win the pole position. Once again, what a shock. As we officially welcome you live to Dover Motor Speedway tonight for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series season. Hang on. Season number 4 playoff race in Dover. Welcome live to Dover Motor Speedway. Here we go. Matthew White, of course, on pole position. To his outside, going to be Trent Wilkin. Top 3 all playoff drivers for the top 5 playoff drivers. Braden Hunsaker starting in 5th. Wilkins second. Chandler going to be starting in third. So good at Dover. What will he be able to do? Richard Cherry going to be starting in fourth place. Brandon Hunsaker starts fifth. Your winner last night in the Xfinity race. Hayden Donahue starts sixth. And right behind him, his former team owner and driver that really kickstarted his career. Gio Turpin starting seventh. Connor Aswell going to start eighth here. Sean Rowe starting ninth. And Bryce Benton rounds out your top 10. The rest of the field is on the left side of your screen. From the Dover Motor Speedway tonight. All right. Here we go in Dover. These are the Cup Series playoffs. Of course, Sean Hilquich, I don't even know if he has any time at this point to come in. I mean, I was talking to him a minute ago. He was desperately trying everything he could to come into this session at the last second. I don't know. I don't even know if it's possible at this point. That is going to be an absolutely massive blow if that's the case for Sean Hilquich. Came into this race +3 in the playoff on the championship 4 cut line after a fantastic finish and making his way through the chaos last week at Talladega. So this is just, man.
We may be seeing all these issues with everyone. With car, we could see in the car count. Normally, we average around 26 cars. An iRacing update just came out. I would have to say today, only 500 megabytes, but that could be a main factor because you have to recreate all those files. And for some people who are slower PCs, like for example, J. Wilson, it may take them 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, only took me about 30 seconds, but. That's beside the...
I'm still updating mine, so...
As we come onto the racetrack here. Of course, Matthew Edenpol, they're going to come down pit road, check pit road speed, and yeah, Sean Hilquich just is going to miss this race. That is absolutely heartbreaking. Man, that can't get any worse for his luck. He was so close to making it as well, but he will not. From Dover tonight. That is just horrible, horrible luck for Sean Hilquich. They'll come down and check pit road speed, check their pit boxes for a 200-lap race at Dover Motor Speedway. Of course, halfway break going to be end of lap 100. Final check. Sean is not currently in the session, obviously. So this is major, major playoff implications. I mean, I know Dylan Banks is his teammate, but you got to think he's smiling seeing this. Entered, of course, just below the cut line, -3 on Sean. But Dylan himself is starting all the way back in 16th. So he's got to have a good day. He wants to make anything happen. As they come up, check pit road speed and check their pit boxes here at Dover. The third to last Cup Series race this season from the Dover Motor Speedway. All right, Matthew White doesn't even go check this pit stall. He knows where it is. It's number 1. As they come onto the racetrack, of course, Chuscone going to be down the front straightaway as always. Andrew Stacy actually going to be taking over our commentating job here for now.
I know pretty much.
What?
Brody Webster's coming in here in a few minutes. Our
right.
other third commentator. As the cars get lined up here, you see the backpack trying to catch back up to the pace car as Matthew White. He's an injury free. About to go into that restart zone. Start in Dover, third, like Ethan Chandler said, the third to last race in the FedEx Cup Championship. Matthew White doesn't need a good force here. He just needs to run his race. He's already locked in.
Here we go.
To the restart zone.
Pace car on pit road. Third to last race of the Cup Series season. Midway point of the round of 8. We are green and underway in Dover. Great start by Trent Wilkin on the outside lane. He will clear Matthew White as they head back into 1 and 2. Opening time at Dover. And now down this backstretch they rocket. Side by side, 3 wide down the backstretch, heading to 3 and 4. And leading lap 1 and pulling away already, going to be Trent Wilkin in the 12. Started second. What a jump on the outside. He'll lead the opening lap. Matthew White back to second. Now third. Richard Cherry battling there. Inside the top 5, Cameron Chandler as well in the 8. Oh, car on the wall a little bit back there. That's Connor Asbell. Side by side now with Bryce Benson. Got Dylan Banks all the way back here in the 48 as well. As As they head down the front straightaway, Banks made up 2 positions up to 14th place, though. As they head back into 1 and 2. Up the racetrack goes the 9 of Bryce Benton, clearing himself on Connor Asbell.
Main pack starting to fall into a single line. This is where the real practice goes with all the dirty air of the Gen 7 NASCAR. And maybe an issue with Dylan Banks trying to catch back up and try to get some good points here. With the one guy missing the assessment. It looks like they're all even. They're all doing pretty good. We saw Connor Asbell just moments ago have contact with the wall, but other than that, it's a nice clean start. Very ordered, fairly ordered. Not a lot of jumping.
On lap 5 here at Dover Motor Speedway, battle for 3rd place beginning to go on between Cameron Chandler and Richard Sherry. Chandler all over the back bumper, that 29, move to the inside, side by side for the race lead, or side by side for 3rd place, I should say, not the race lead, between these two. Chandler down low, Cherry keeping that outside lane happening. Oh, moving out line, there's Bryce Benton as well on Geo Turpin. Now Aiden Donahue coming outside of the 8 car of Chandler. Apologize for the car audio issues. I don't know what iRacing's doing. It sounds absolutely horrible. As Donahue gonna clear. Oh, we got a car spinning down the front straightaway. Around goes Connor Asbell back in front of the field. Will this bring out a caution? Yes, it will. Caution out, first time lap 7. Around goes Connor Asbell. He hasn't been the cleanest driver all season, and he brings out our first yellow of the night. Let's see what happens.
Having issues with the lap as he's trying to pass Bryce Benton right here, and he just loses that rear end. Good job for him to lock it down. It's sketchy there at the end, but he did a good job keeping that car somewhat clean and surviving his race day, keeping his race day going.
Yeah, nobody makes contact with him, obviously. We're going to try to fix the car audio issues. I don't know what's going on. There he goes around, spinning into the wall. A little bit of damage, but nobody else ended up hitting him. Brings out our first caution of the night at Dover. This is a very weird time. Caution only lap 8, of course, single car spin, but in the middle of the pack. Will we see anyone come to pit road? That's the question now. All right. So we'll see. Of course, Trenton Wilkin, what a start he had. Led all the laps so far. He's not pitting. Matthew White not pitting. First one to... Nope. No one pitting, doesn't look like, from the front. And Cole Clausen going to be the first one to peel on pit road. He was running in 16th. I mean, you got to think about how massive this is for Trenton Wilkin leading this race right now. He is now in a championship 4 spot. The race ended right now. Of course, Matthew White locked in. Chandler and Hunsicker would be the other ones as well. He needed to do this exact same thing tonight. Enter tonight, minus 11 to the cut line. Needs to probably, maybe even try to win this stage, try to win the race as well. He's got to do everything he can. We're on lap 9 in Dover. Caution out, first time tonight. Again, apologize for the iRacing audio issues. It's just always something, it seems like.
As we come to the choose cone, it's going to be very needed for you to choose the right lane. Obviously, we saw the inside lane flying out, like just become one lane after like 5 laps. So I wonder if any people in the back are going to try to bump some rows up and choose the outside, or try to keep some positions by staying inside and trying what works.
Here we go, coming to the shoes. For the first time tonight here in Dover, going to restart on lap 11. Oh. Did Wilkin just drive straight through? I don't know. That's kind of what it looked like. Yeah, he just pretty much drove straight through. That's going to be a penalty.
Oh, that's detrimental to his playoffs. He really needs his points, winning his, leading the race.
And at a track this hard to pass it's going to be a difficult night ahead.
You cannot do that at all. You have to go one way. You just stayed in the middle there. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, that's a terrible mistake.
Oh, we gave him the wrong penalty. Sorry. He'll be moved to the end of the field here. Man, that is so unfortunate for Trent Wilkin. I mean, like, you can't do that. That's just a mistake you cannot make. Just absolutely, you can't make that kind of mistake. It was plain and obvious. Didn't even try to move his race car. I mean, maybe didn't do, we're coming to the choose, some sort of mistake like that. You just can't do that. He's going to come to pit road here to try to top off or something. He's going to fall to the back.
I'm surprised how many people picked the top. I thought the bottom would have been the preferred line here, but I guess people want to run off of turn 2, which might be beneficial.
First, we welcome CJ Urban to the booth. So, CJ, only 11 laps into here to Dover. I don't know if you caught any of the early laps, but if you did, what did you notice so far?
I did catch the beginning of it, but it looked like it was hard. I was expecting it to be worse getting off of turn 2 in Xfinity and iCar. When you would come off of turn 2 on the restart, at least for me, I would get a lot of wheel spin. So I was curious to see how that would play out for the with the next gen, but so far it doesn't look like that's happening.
And it's so unfortunate for Trent Wilkin. He's going to restart probably last here. I mean, you talk about that. You can't make that kind of mistake in the playoffs when you're down 11. That is just worst possible scenario for him. He's leading the race as well. And of course, going to give the lead to Matthew White on the outside. Jerry going to be on the low side in second for this restart. The first restart of the night on lap 12. Here from the Dover Motor Speedway. Ready to get this race back underway. It was a single car spin for Connor Asbel, bringing out our first caution of the night. Matthew White, Richard Cheery leaving the field back to the green flag. We're back underway in Dover. Great restart for the outside car on the wall a little bit. That's Braden Hunsicker. Not a good start at all for him. Somebody blinks as they head back into 1 and 2. Side by side, down the backstretch they go yet again. There's the 48 of Dylan Banks to the inside of the 79 of Ashton Miller. There's the 9 of Bryce Benton now working to the low side on Gio Turpin. Oh, he's going to get caught up a little bit behind the 84. And battle currently now going on for third. And Donahue actually got away to second place. And third place going on between Cameron Chandler and Richard Cherry. Chandler still trying to squeeze his nose down in there. Cherry gets a little bit tight. They're side by side, heading down the front straight. We'll get Sean Rowe following in line. And maybe even trying to make it 3 wide on the bottom. Look at Rowe in the 20. He has to back out of it. There's the 84 of Turpin going with him. Rowe into fourth place. Sherry might lose another spot to Turpin. It's followed up by these Toyotas and that Chevrolet of Chandler.
Looked like Richard Cheery just didn't have a good restart off that, and he's just been falling off from there. Hopefully he can get a rebound. I want to talk about Dylan Banks as well, up to top 10 after that disappointing qualifying run. He's already picking up grounds. Hopefully he can get some points here. So he has a shot now after the.
There's the 9 of Enter to the outside of the 77 of Braden Hunsicker will clear him. That is for 7th place. Hunsicker was 13th in practice, currently runs 8th in this race, a little bit better. And there is Dylan Banks currently running in 10th. Ashton Miller behind him side by side. Look at Trent Wilkin, although mired back in 15th now after that penalty while leading. The sounds coming out of these race cars are completely unnatural. I don't know what iRacing is doing, to be honest, at all. We're going to have to reload the session once the next caution comes out. It's just randomly started. Apologize for that, of course. Battle for the lead beginning to heat up between Matthew White and Aiden Donahue. The inside, there's Richard Cherry for 5th place, but Gio Turpin, they almost make a little bit of contact, heading back into 1 and 2. Side by side, back into 3 and 4. Turpin still in the outside lane, trying to get their roll re-clear the 29 of Cherry. And now here comes Bryce Benton in the wall a little bit. Braden Hunsicker there as well to the inside. Looking. the racetrack goes Benson way high. There's Cherry in the 29 as well. Benson trying to repass Braden Hunsicker as they battle currently for 7th place. And Benson gonna clear Hunsicker yet again. Cherry trying to fight back to the bumper of Geo Turpin. This battle for P5 will continue in Dover. Oh, to the bumper of the 9 goes the 77 Hunsicker. Thought he was going to give him a little bit of a shove. Ends up not doing that. 20 laps into Dover. Now here's Hunsicker to the inside. Looks back in line though. Heading back into 1 and 2. Up front, Aiden Donahue separated by about 0.3 of a second behind Matthew White. Currently running in 3rd, Cameron Chandler. These top 3, not surprising at all. Here comes Sherry to the inside of Turpin. Looking to battle for 5th place. He goes back in line, though, heading down into 1 and 2 again. And Sherry gets there, cannot just stay side by side with him for the looks of it so far. It's not been a good race for ETR, though. Of course, Dylan Banks started all the way back in 16th. Trent Wilkin was leading before, had that penalty for not choosing his lane during the choose cone. And then, of course, Sean Hillquist barely missing the race. This is just an abysmal day for ETR so far. Not what they wanted to see. Currently, though, Dylan Banks would hold the final spot inside the championship 4, running in 10th. He is now in the battle with Ashton Miller. He's close for that final championship 4 spot as well. Caution is out. Second time, and it's Payson Lindsay around down the front straightaway, collecting Brandon Pfeiffer. 2 cars spin. Second yellow of the night, lap 24. Let's see what happens. Oh, just Payson watch up there. Oh my God, what a hit by Pfeiffer. Slams the wall, hooks the 99. Both go around really quick. We got a second caution of the night out really quick. We're going to try to reload the session to stop the awful sounds coming out of these race cars. I don't know what iRacing is doing at all. So if they come down pit road, I don't know if Stacy or Erdman, if one of you guys are in the session right now, if they come down pit road, can one of you guys give us a little bit of an update?
Yeah, I'm about to load in soon. I will say those were 2 Alliance cars, so both Question Motorsports and Clear iRacing cars. That was not something you want to see if you own that team with me and CJ. So,
well, I mean, technically, Payson's racing for TCMC in the Cup Series, but yeah, hopefully, iRacing sounds fixed. That would be nice. Really appreciate that. Alright, so cars are on pit road though here in Dover. Just caught it in time. Leaders are pitting. From the Dover Motor Speedway, 1 car staying out. Cars on pit road, like we said. Here in Dover. Connor Asbell, the one that stays out here. Looking like they're taking tires. They get 5 sets in the pits here. They come off pit road. It's going to be Matthew White over Aiden Donahue. Then you got... that's Sean Rowe. I don't know who that is. Okay. That's Geo Turpin, I believe. Roll off of pit road here at Dover. First pit stop of the night, second caution. What happened to Cameron Chandler on pit road? Lost about over 10 spots in the pits. Wow. What happened to the TCMC driver of the 8? Not really too sure. Obviously had a slow pit stop or something. No, actually, it might be even a penalty. Yeah, definitely, that's a penalty, yeah. Wow, that's unfortunate for Cameron Chandler. Again, a playoff mistake you cannot make if you're one of these drivers in the playoffs. Connor Aswell stays out. He will now hold this lead.
An interesting call by Asbell. It'll be interesting to see if he's able to hang one up towards the front with the tire fall off, or how bad it's going to be.
As they come to the choose, Trenton Wilkin, you can see there now, He definitely makes it clear where he's choosing. He doesn't want a repeat of what happened before. On the front row, going to be Connor Asbell. iRacing is still lagging horribly. So with the stream issues last night and now the iRacing issues tonight, we apologize for all this. I can't control this. I don't know what's going on with iRacing right now. They just had an update today. Usually when that happens, all hell breaks loose and the game's broken for a month. So, you can see Connor Asbell surprisingly chooses the inside lane here. Outside going to be Matthew White in the 7. For this restart, second caution already of the night on lap 27 in Dover. I don't know why it says 127. Oh my god, the stickers. Everything's broken right now. Hopefully it fixes
I'd expect some wheel spin from Asbell here.
As they will come back to the restart here in Dover. Back to green we go. Good start. Look at Aiden Donahue making it 3 wide. Down in the inside lane. What a pass on the bottom. Matthew White, though, wrapping the high side yet again. Side by side with the 82 as they, oh, they're going to crash. Donahue goes around. Or, sorry, not Donahue. His teammate, Asbell, goes around. We stay green, but no caution too. Did not need to be a caution. Yellow's out anyways.
Took a gamble. Just got ran over by all of the drivers with new tires. I respect the...
Yeah, just the wheel spin on the exit of the corner there. You lose grip on in the Xfinity or ARCA car or any car there. You lose grip with the rear tires, and obviously on the older tires, it's just hard to hang on to. Yeah, no contact, just wheel spin off the corner, lost all grip, and came around on him.
Okay, the iRacing lag is unbearable at this point. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on, to be honest. My internet's fine. It's iRacing.
That's the second wreck of the night for Asbell, so a rough start to what's been a rough start to this race, and it's been a rough season for him.
Obviously, still with that race win, he did not make the playoffs. Surprisingly, he won at Fontana. His season has been so unlucky as of now, and just hasn't got any good runs throughout the season. I don't believe he's always just gotten caught up in wrecks that he hasn't caused. You know, he took a gamble here. Obviously, it failed. It didn't hurt him too bad. He was running around the 15th, 16th place before he took the strategy call. So he can bounce back, I believe, and I think he'll definitely get some good points here today.
Didn't look like too much damage either from the hit, just the back end hit similar to the first one, so hopefully not too much damage and he's able to keep going.
All right. We'll be back live here just a quick second. Coming to the choose this time by. Okay. Caution out, lap 30. Coming to the choose here in Dover.
It's going to be an interesting battle between Matthew White and Aiden Donahue, two of the faster drivers in this league, and it'll be fun to see them battle for the lead.
Yes, it will be. We'll spend some shoes a little bit late there, as they once again come to the shoes behind them. All right.
When people slow down for the shoes, I'll say it can be one of the most...
Wilk and I have been looking at his shoes, and he has stayed if he wants the outside, he has stayed as far as he can to that wall. He's, I bet is probably a bit mad about his mistake, and he's trying to correct it as best as he possibly can.
All right, so coming back to the restart, going to be on lap 32 already. 3 cautions in this race. Hopefully we get a nice little run in. So we're going to come back to the restart. This time by Matthew White on the outside. Aiden Donahue to his inside, ready to go once again in Dover. Still early on in this race, early on in the stage as well. In lap 32, We come back to the Echo Park restart zone. We're back to, oh, Aiden Donahue. Oh, Aiden Donahue wrecks. Oh my goodness, what a restart. Takes out Turpin, and the caution's out immediately. Around goes Aiden Donahue. That was obviously, yeah, wheel spin.
I know I had mentioned wheel spin. I didn't expect it to be that bad with the next gen, but that's 2 restarts in a row now. We've seen wheel spin catch somebody off guard.
Let's look. Oh, just spins the tires and Flex Turpin gets a little bit damaged. They both spin. Somehow they're the only 2 involved. No one else spun. We're gonna ride along with Aiden Donahue through this crash to listen. Oh yeah.
You can hear he got out of it trying to catch it, but it just came around too fast and there was nothing he could do.
And that is one of the best drivers in NASCAR iRacing FedEx League history. Best driver, one of the best drivers in iRacing. This man could probably go pro if he wanted to. And he goes around down the front straightaway with wheel spin.
I don't think Aiden Donahue has too much damage from that. He got hit from somebody on the restart there. I think it was Geo Turpin, but as long as there's no toe link damage, you should be able to fix that and keep going.
That's now already 4 cautions in this race.
It'll be interesting. It'll be fun to watch him, Cameron Chandler, and Trent Wilkins, some of the fastest guys in this league, now all at the back together. It'll be interesting to see how quickly, or if at all, they can move through the field here at Dover in this next gen with the dirty air as bad as it is. It's going to be a challenge.
Of course, Chandler mired all the way back in 15th place. Wilkin actually had a decent stop, made his way through the chaos there. Now is up to 8th. So it's trying
Might be in a
to
position
rebound.
to get some points.
Of course, Wilkin entered this race last of the playoff drivers, minus 11 to the championship for cut line.
Any benefit to him. The only guy around him that's ahead of him in points that he could realistically catch that's in the top 10 is Ashton Miller. The rest of them, John Butler, Dylan Banks, Sean Hilkowicz, Cameron Chandler, all struggling tonight. So a good opportunity for him to make up some points if he can get closer to the front of the field.
All right, they will.
You know, Sean Hilkowicz is not even here, so he's going to have a huge gain on that. Same with Dylan Banks. Dylan Banks is going to have a great day, I think, today, no matter what. Even if he doesn't score stage points or if he gets like a top 15, he is still going to gain some ground off of Sean Hilkowicz and probably get himself above the bubble.
He is. It's going to be a big penalty for Hilkowicz, unfortunately, missing the race.
Yeah, that is just. He was about 2 minutes off, I believe. He's currently in the voice chat with his teammates right now. I mean, it was so close for him not to miss this race. Just unfortunate circumstances, obviously.
He could be back on the lead lap at this point.
So I don't know if I'm live or not, but iRacing is currently broken. Then my session is frozen. I don't know what's going on at all.
We are still live, it appears. So I think it's just iRacing.
This is unbelievable. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Taking me like 20 minutes to load as well into iRacing.
The update took a surprisingly long time for me today, so
This
I'm not
update
too sure
is,
what's going on with iRacing.
Give me on. This update is actually a disgrace. This is awful.
I think it was only cup cars and like one sports car as well. It's just straight.
Okay, I don't know what's going on the race now. iRacing is just breaking itself.
We'll be learning soon here. I think I'm at 90%.
So we
Yeah.
apologize. This is completely out of my control. I can't do anything because of this. Currently trying to get you back in. So we're back to green, it looks like, I believe.
Looks like everybody got away cleanly.
Maybe we should leave more times so they have clean restarts. So it looks like we're back live. All right. My God. Back live here in Dover. The lag is still terrible, but we're going to try to work through it. Coming to lap 41 this time by Matthew White continues to lead. Sean Rowe now second. How about Braden Hunsicker making his way all the way up to P3? And that's 77. Gio Turpin there running in fourth.
He came in a decent point spot tonight, Braden Hunsicker, that is. He just needed a clean run, and so far he's having that.
Of course, Braden Hunsicker won at Talladega last week. He somehow made through that chaos. Luckily he did. He probably wouldn't have been in a much worse situation if he didn't.
Yeah, that was a strange race last week. It was really difficult for people to make the high line work, and you had to be really aggressive.
As cars rocking down the backstretch yet again here in Dover.
Talladega's actually been a clean race.
Yeah, I know. We've already had more cautions than we did in Talladega last week. Here's Aiden Donahue, currently running all the way up inside the top 10. He already passed Cameron Chandler. Chandler's struggling in 11th right now. And he's got Richard Cherry trying to work his way to the inside. Side by side, back into 3 and 4.
For Cherry on the bottom, it can be really difficult when you come up off that corner. You know, if you're giving the guy on your outside enough room, if you can squeeze him into the one, Chandler lets him go that time.
We have completely lost the stream audio. I can't. Holy.
Oh, Connor Aswell with another issue.
I think he's just born in here.
Yeah, Connor Aswell down on the apron.
It's been a rough night for him.
Matthew White now is a 1.2 second lead over Sean Rowe. There's third place, Braden Hunsicker, fourth Turpin, fifth Benson.
We see Aiden Donahue, he's worked his way back into the top 10 after restarting all the way in the back of the field from that spin on the restart. He's back up in the top 10. It'll be interesting to see how much higher he can climb. He's already just behind Trent Wilson.
There's Hunsicker currently running in third. Sean Rowe still trying to keep the gap to now 1.3 seconds over Matthew White in the wall a little bit. Goes the 7. Cars are a little bit off the wall. Heading back down the front straightaway. Aswell did just make a stop. He's rolling off the grid now, so not pulling it in. Oh, weird time to make a stop there. Is Dylan Banks currently running in 8th. He was fastest in practice for a little bit. Qualified all the way down in 16th, and it's just he's made some ground up inside the top 10 later stages in the top 10, but he really hasn't done anything ever since that.
Luckily for him, with Sean not being able to show up tonight, he will make up points on the cutoff, and right now is above the cutoff pretty comfortably over Sean. But the question is where people behind him, like John Butler, Ashton Miller, and Trent Wilkins going to finish, and Wilkins right behind him, and Ashton is in front of him. So not the best points tonight for him, but it's not. He's doing decent.
There is, how about Knox Thompson? What a run he's having in P7 in this race. Absolutely career day so far for the OA.
He was fast in qualifying yesterday, qualified top 5. Unfortunately, the race did not go as well for him, but so far it seems like he has some decent speed and maybe could get a top 5 if a few things go his way.
Knox Thompson, been up there the entire race. I don't think has even gone out of the top 10 for these past 51 laps. Great day for him.
Here's Aiden Donahue now trying to run down the 12 of Trent Wilkin. Over halfway now through the first half and over.
And like I said before, it was going to be interesting to see Wilkin, Donahue, and Chandler come through the field. And right now they're on 9th, 10th, and 11th, so pretty equal so far. So we'll see how that continues to develop throughout the stage and the rest of the race.
I don't even know if we're talking to anyone at this point. My audio is completely down on the stream. Holy.
It's fine on my end. On the stream. I think it's okay.
What?
I was looking at the stream and I can hear it on there, so I think it's okay.
On my end, there's absolutely nothing. So I don't.
Dylan Banks still, Lane Donahue still struggling to get by Trent Wilkin. Like you said, dirty air is a big factor here at Dover, so you kind of just have to wait for somebody to make a mistake or force an aggressive move to get a pass complete here.
As we've seen here, most of those drivers who have climbed their way back up into the top 10 have seemed to be not making a lot of moves. Trent Wilkin has stayed 9th basically after he caught up to the top 10. Same with Dylan Banks, P8. I mean, maybe after they get to fast cars.
These 4 or 5 cars have just been stuck.
Yeah, maybe if they, after they got caught up to some more faster people, they just ran out of momentum as Dylan Banks tries to go down the inside of that 08. He makes it stick, and he'll have a run off the inside, and
Now there's
he'll
an
get
open
back
the door
clear.
for Wilkin. Oh, Knox makes an aggressive put on Wilkin, and Wilkin gets into the wall a little bit.
Here comes Donahue as well to the inside of that 82. Cameron Chandler following in line. Now Donahue to the inside of Wilkin. Banks around the outside of Thompson. Thompson now through the middle as they head down the backstretch again.
Yeah, Knox is in a really difficult position. He has to make a tough decision here. Does he want to let these guys go who are probably faster than him, or continue to fight and try to stay up front?
They head down the front stretch yet again here in Dover. Donahue all over the back bumper of Wilkin in the 12. Got Cameron Chandler working to the inside of that 82. Richard Cherry back there running in 12. Chandler now working inside of Aiden Donahue. It's been tough to pass, though, for these very, very fast race cars of Aiden Donahue, Trenton Wilkin, and Cameron Chandler. Oh, there's Wilkin to the quarter panel. Oh, Oliver Knox Thompson trying to get up a little bit loose. He'll drop to the inside. Thompson almost makes a block. Down to the 1 and 2. Now Donahue to the outside, and Wilkin pushes him high. Side by side they go.
And I can almost guarantee you, Trent Wilkin, Aiden Donahue, and Cameron Chandler are very frustrated with Knox blocking like he was. Obviously, it's his right, he was racing. But playoff cars will not, and Aiden Donahue, who is probably one of the fastest guys here, are not going to like that.
And Donahue. Here he is to the inside, side by side with Knox Thompson as they head down this backstretch. Donahue, of course, spun on that restart, trying to make his way back up through the field. And he'll clear.
They've been nice to Knox so far with giving him breaks, but as it gets close to the end of the stage and you see Wilkin losing another spot to Chandler, as that happens, he's going to lose more and more patience and get more aggressive, and eventually will probably use the bumper on the 08.
Yeah, as I'm hearing on the radio, they are saying some mean comments to Thompson. They are saying how he is being overly aggressive Eden Donahue and Trent Wilkin had a sort of bonding moment.
Oh, and a crash!
And
2 cars going now. Turpin in the middle of the pack
Turpin
with
around.
Bryce Benton. Oh my God, that was close. Caution's out.
I think that was Richard Cherry as well in the back. I saw around. Somebody else was spun on the front straightaway.
Let's take a look at what happens. Or another caution out. To the inside they went. Bryce Benson just pushed Turpin up the racetrack here. Nowhere to go. Ran into the wall. Hard into the wall goes Gio Turpin. And look at Dylan Banks just to avoid. Bryce Benson there as well.
Cherry's around in the back. Like I said earlier, it can be so difficult when you're the guy on the inside to know how much room the guy on your outside has to the wall. And obviously Bryce Benton just misjudged it a little bit there.
Tried along with Bryce. The rough going after he, of course, was eliminated from the playoffs. Yeah, just Turpin just couldn't keep it out of the wall after that. And oh my God, it was so close. Look at everybody just going by. We'll have to see how the 29 of Cherry got turned around for this incident. That's interesting. Let's look from the blimp with Cherry. He actually was side by side with Trenton Wilkin.
Not sure how much damage any of these guys are going to have, because it doesn't look like anybody hit the wall too hard. At least for Turpin and Benton, we'll see here with Cherry.
Oh.
Wilkin just got into him a little bit there. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody has too much damage, so it'll be interesting to see how this affects their race. Obviously, more fast cars coming from the back now.
Gio Turpin, though, is the one I think that might, I don't know, he might retire. I don't know if he's going to retire or not, but he had pretty significant damage, it looks like.
It mostly depends on the toe length. If it's just rear end or front damage, they'll probably be able to fix that under the cautions here, especially if we get a few yellows. They should be able to fix that. It's the toe length you have to be careful of.
no one stays out. Everyone decides to pit. As I think comes down, I think everyone is in their box. They looks like they're all taking 4 tires. No strategy changes as here comes Sean Rowe. And he's going to get it. No, he's not. Matthew White wins the race off pit road. And it's very close behind. Thompson lost a lot of spots at pit road. As you see, 2 or 3 cars taking some damage, like Bryce Benton right there and Richard Cherry.
How is Gio Turpin not taking any repairs from that? I don't really know. Restart 5th.
I'm not sure. Maybe he's thinking, try to get the points and take it at the stage, but he's not running for a.
I mean, yeah.
He's not running for
playoffs.
points or anything, which is kind of odd.
That is, I don't even know. That's weird.
Yeah, look, you can kind of see it off the TV camera. His left front is sticking towards the crowd, so obviously he's gonna burn his left front. That'll be fun for him to see as he chooses the inside. Maybe the smart decision.
It'll be interesting to see here. Wheel spin again. We saw Asbel spin off of turn 2 because he couldn't get the back of the car within the track, and we saw Donahue on the restart, one of the best drivers in the league, just spin the tires and wasn't ready for it and went around. So it'll be interesting to see what Rowe and Matthew White can do.
Teammates are going to be lined up 1 and 2 on the outside lane, Matthew White and Braden Hunsaker. They have won the last 4 NASCAR iRacing FedEx races, but iRacing FedEx Cup Series races between the two of them. They haven't lost a single playoff race. I mean, Matthew White, they probably should have. They've gotten extremely lucky, not discounting anything they've done, but man, luck has been on their side. Car on pit road still. Logan Giesbrecht may retire from this race. It's 3 cars out of the race. Giesbrecht, Asbel, and Pfeiffer.
It seems that the car on the bottom has struggled the most with grip off the corner, so and on the restart. So it'll be interesting to see if Rowe can keep the tires under.
Back underway here on lap 67 at Dover Motor Speedway. Back underway at Dover. Not a bad restart for Rowe on the inside. Actually, really solid restart, all things considered. Actually keeping it side by side with Matthew White. Back into 1 and 2 they go. He's on the inside as they head door to door for the race lead. Rowe on the low side. Matthew White back outside. Down the back just to go door to door, but now he gets clear.
Miller and Dylan Banks came into this race tied in the playoffs, and they run 4th and 5th right now. So scoring very similar points. That's going to keep that points battle extremely close.
3 wide for second. Payson Lindsay, who's working on the inside, now got a side-by-side battle for second. There's Hunsaker clearing Sean Rowe in the outside lane. Highline Motorsports 1 and 2.
As the first lap of that restart was happening, Gio Turpin realized how bad his damage was off the exit 2 He's now going to the pit lane. He basically stomped on the brakes and moved straight to the inside. That was very sketchy in that middle pack. Very lucky for everyone to get away all clean. I think Geo Turpin is coming to the pit lane and parking it for the rest of the match.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of DNFs in this race so far. It's been chaotic. And now Cameron Chandler up the P5, Dylan Banks up the P4. Banks was very, very quick in practice. There's Donahue to the inside of Knox Thompson.
As we see Donahue try to get by Knox, now Wilkins going to get back to him. We saw the difficulty Knox was giving Wilkins before, and he's still giving difficulty to Donahue. So patience has to be with those two drivers, and Knox holding them up like he is. So could get aggressive here as Knox going to get the wall.
And Thompson going to re-clear Aiden Donahue, though, as Wilkin running back there with now 30 laps to go in the stage. Top three have pulled away under a little bit of a blanket. Back there, Dylan Banks currently runs fourth, and Cameron Chandler beginning to get to his bumper. They battle for P4. This is going to be great points for Dylan Banks if he could take this fourth place in the stage. Donahue back to the inside of Thompson.
And Ashton Miller as well in sixth place. He came in tied with them, so losing a little bit right now, but still getting the cutoff.
Wilkins still thinking about how that penalty has absolutely killed his race so far. Meyer back now in ninth after leading this race before.
As we see Knox still running right in front of Trent Wilkins, giving him the air and making this pass incredibly difficult. Now we see Casey Lindsay starting to look to the inside, now he'll look outside.
Looking pretty racy here in Dover as they head down the backstretch again. There is Ashton Miller. They're looking maybe to the inside of Chandler. Can't get there. Donahue is close to the bumper. Miller, his teammate and driver. Multiple different lines are actually being used, maybe one or two, here at Dover.
I think it's so difficult to pass at the bottom that people are starting to try to move up and find extra speed up there. They've realized the bottom is not going to be an option for passing tonight, so people are deciding to try to find a way around the outside.
So they head back into 3 and 4. Miller back on the inside of the 8 of Cameron Chandler. Up the racetrack he goes. He's going to maybe get tight off corner exit. That could allow Aiden Donahue to get a run. Oh, they're almost looking at Pace and Lindsay to the inside. Maybe get two positions for a second. To the inside of Wilkin he'll go. And Knox Thompson. They head on to the back stretch again. Thompson is
not happy with the way Knox is racing.
Knox Thompson has been the hardest guy on the field to pass, it seems like, throughout this entire race.
Knox Thompson, you know, not here to make friends. He has been adamant on trying to keep this top 10. As we saw off the exit of 4, Trenton will try to make a move off the exit of 4, and just Knox shoved him all the way down to the inside. You would say kind of maybe a Logano block. Brendan Wilkin thinking more about his playoffs and let off.
And here comes Lindsay. He will not be raced like that for very long.
And yeah, Wilkin not happy. Up the racetrack they both go. He's going to push him high. There comes Bryce Benton as well. Wilkin gets loose on the inside lane, clears them all. But Benton now back down low in the 9, trying to break his way back inside the top 10.
As frustrating as this is for Wilkin, he needs to remember not to damage his race car too much here or at all, because a lot of the guys around him in points, Miller and Banks, are outscoring him right now. He already comes to the minor for that.
Battle, here we go, side by side between Cameron Chandler and Dylan Banks. Chandler back in line, the 48, right ahead of him. And up the racetrack slide job for a second for the 9 of Benton on Knox Thompson, with Richard Cherry back there as well.
It seems like a lot of people are starting to get frustrated with Knox. We saw Wilkin and Lindsay move him, and I saw Cherry get close to him there off of turn 4, but I think people are getting frustrated with him being so defensive.
Obviously, a lot of cars are a lot faster than him. I don't think he's, no discredit to him, I don't think he's a top 10 car, but he's doing a good job.
He might be the best defender in this league.
Yeah. He's falling back to 12, possibly 13th. John Butler now with the run. His teammate William Reagan following in line.
Looks like he may have killed off his tires. That's how hard he was defending. He was moving down the straightaway. I mean, I give props to him. He held up, like, what we could say, the Hall of Fame of NASCAR FedEx Cup drivers. You know, like, they are the best. And I think he did overall pretty good. As Cherry's in the wall.
That's going to let Knox back by him. That's going to be frustrating, because now he's going to do all that work again to get by him.
And here comes the 09 of John Butler as well. Cherry back to the outside. He's got a little bit of damage, though, because of that wall contact. Get side by side down the front stretch. Back to 1 and 2. Cherry on the outside lane. Thompson back down low.
Knox and Trent and Wilkin are not happy with each other on the radio right now.
Here's John Butler now to the outside of the 08. Butler currently not in a position for stage points. Battle for 12th place. More towards the front of the field still. Dylan Banks holding on to 4th. Cameron Chandler on his bumper. There's 3rd place, Sean Rowe. 2nd place, your winner in Talladega last week, Braden Hunsicker, and your leader, Matthew White, your pole sitter, has led the most laps so far.
Hunsicker not really letting Matthew White get away. It'll be interesting to see if he can run him down at the end of the stage. They seem pretty equal in speed so far.
A bunch of playoff drivers lined up in here. Of the top 7, 5 of them are from the playoffs. The only 2 not playoff drivers, Sean Rowe and Aiden Donahue. I mean, we got to even talk about it again. This is huge for Sean Hillquich, just barely missing this race. I mean, he is. I talked to him before. He is not happy about this whatsoever. He is devastated. This is gonna
and to make things worse, having all the bubble guys right behind you in points, running top 10, that's going to make it even more of a challenge next week in Texas.
Yeah, the Texas round of 8, final race of the round of 8, the championship 4 cutoff race from Texas Motor Speedway next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, next Thursday. Of course, the Xfinity Series will be at Texas as well for their championship 4 cutoff race. Final race for the championship 4. And in 2 weeks' time, it'll be championship weekend at Hopestead Miami Speedway. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be deciding a new NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series champion. How about that? It will be this man, Matthew White, definitely the favorite so far as these playoffs will continue. Braden Hunsicker not too bad either. Dylan Banks even could be a favorite. He's ran so consistently throughout these playoffs. Cameron Chandler, he's had a rough playoffs to be honest, but has kept his nose in it.
All that matters is one race. So as long as he can get his luck turned around by then, he should be okay.
Remember, Matthew White did win at Homestead Miami Speedway last season when it was in the regular season, in season 3. That was over a year ago, calendar year ago at this point though. So that's obviously something to keep in mind.
As when we're talking about the Championship 4, I think definitely it's going to come down to who can run the top line the best. Obviously, it's the next gen, it's Homestead. You have to be very versatile for Homestead, even if it's an Xfinity car or Cup car. I think one of the most versatile drivers, as you said, with Matthew White, that is why he is the favorite to win the championship. But I do believe some people like Dylan Banks or Brendan Hunter can definitely challenge him and will have a good race. I definitely believe that.
But Cameron Chandler is so good at ripping the top. Remember at Charlotte, maybe last season for the Coca-Cola 600, ran down Matthew White, ripping the boards. Final laps of the Charlotte 600, we had that incredible finish at the line and won that race. Never know what we're going to do at Homestead, Miami. As Dylan Banks is now caught Sean Rowe for 3rd place. Again, not what Sean Hillquich wants to see. It's just getting worse and worse. He's just, I mean, this is so bad. You're watching helplessly as your points continue to dwindle away.
This is going to be devastating for Sean, but with this car, it seems like you have to pass around the outside, and I think Sean Rowe watched Knox defend as well as he did, and they've started to move up the racetrack when they're trying to block, because it's very difficult to get a pass down on the bottom unless you're significantly faster than the cars you're racing around.
Right along with
looks
Dylan
like
Banks.
Trenton Wilkin has an issue. He has lost 4 positions in a lap, I think. He is, I think, outside of the top 10 now.
Yes, there he is in the wall again. Definitely.
Don't know what happened to him. He slowed off the exit of 2.
I wonder if he hit the wall.
Oh, contact!
Contact
between Team Chevy Motor Club teammates Richard Cherry and Bryce Benton as they had side-by-side battle for 9th place. Wilkin dropping outside the top 10, like we said, to 11th.
Neither of these two running the way they want to. They both obviously want to be further up in the field, and they might be getting frustrated with each other.
Wilkin hit the wall there pretty good again. He is struggling with just under 10 laps to go in the stage.
And it might be something to watch, but Knox Thompson has run Trent Wilkin back down, and we heard them yelling at each other over the radio, so that could be an interesting battle when they get to each other.
These two continue to battle teammates side by side.
Definitely not what Trenton wanted to happen. With 5 to go from the halfway break, he has basically fumbled these points unless something drastic happens and he catches up with that, I'd assume, damage. There's lost points there. Yeah.
As Dylan Banks has made his way inside the top 3, just past Sean Rowe. Banks is quick. I mean, he might be quicker than Braden Unsicker and Matthew White. Watch out for Dylan Banks in the second half.
Sean Rowe moves up to the middle groove now. Chandler's going to have to try to find a way around on the out, either even higher up, or he's going to have to try to make a pass on the bottom, which has been very difficult all evening.
4 to go in the stage here at Dover. Up the racetrack, big time goes Sean Rowe. Chandler follows in his line. They head down the backstretch once again in 3 and 4. Oh, it's going to block down low. Chandler probably getting a little bit frustrated seeing this 20 in his way. Chandler, this is definitely his best racetrack. Still, only best he's ran is probably 5th.
When somebody cuts across your nose like that, the dirty air with this car, it makes you so tight you have to lift out of the gas more than you normally would just to keep from sliding up the racetrack. So that is a good defensive tool, but it can be very frustrating with that behind you.
Coming to 2 to go in the stage, this time by. We know one guy definitely hoping for the stage caution as soon as possible. Trent Wilkin, he's actually kind of gotten more under control, but he definitely has a little bit of damage. Knox Thompson still holding up John Butler and other guys behind him. His field definitely has thinned out as of late. And here we go, side by side, 2 to go in the stage. Cameron Chandler trying to get in a valuable stage split away from Sean Rowe. My God, way up the racetrack goes Rowe in the 20. He is not going to be happy. He's going to lose a spot to Chandler, maybe to Donahue as well as they come to the final lap in the stage.
Yeah, Rowe's going to be frustrated with that, but you can see Chandler was just getting more and more desperate and frustrated with not being able to pass on the inside, and he finally just decided to make room to get through.
Final lap in the stage, side by side. What is for 6th place, 5th place between Sean Rowe and Aiden Donahue to the green and white checkered flag. Matthew White's going to win the stage. 2nd, Hunsicker 3rd. Banks to the line. They go into the wall. I believe Rowe got it over Donahue, who is now 6th. 7th, Miller. 8th, Lindsay. 9th, Cherry. And 10th, Bryce Benson. Caution's out here in Dover. Halfway break from Dover Motor Speedway is underway. Man, what a first half it was. Longer green flag run that ended. Matthew White, your stage winner.
Matthew White been dominating all of race weekend. I think he's done pretty good today. He's led most of the laps, if not all. Correct me if I'm wrong. Trenton Wilkin obviously after the incident. I think he's had a great showing today. He's proved why he's already locked into the playoffs and why he's the favorite.
Got to be frustrating for Wilkin. He came in on the pole, had some fairly easy stage points, but obviously that mistake is going to cost him severely. Pit road will be open this time. Here comes the field down the pit road.
All right, here they come to pit road and down to Andrew Stacy.
As we come down, Matthew White leading off the pit road. No one stays out, obviously. So we can see there, none of them has made their box yet. We don't know if they're going to take 2 tires, 1 tires. I would expect 4. Sorry, not 1. They're entering their boxes right now. Looks like everyone has good entrance. No people running outside their pit box as Trent Wilkin finally makes it to his box. Most people are taking 4. First person out of their box, obviously, Dylan Banks because of his P16 qualified position. Now, will he beat Matthew White off the line? No, he will not. Matthew White will have a good finish as a side-by-side for 5th, I think. That's Rowe that got that. And then it's mostly single file after the top 10. pretty smooth down pit road. I didn't see any major mistakes. We still have one car in the pits for repairs. I believe that is
Juan Cobbs, I believe, is on pit road.
Yep.
So
Trent Wilkin, I guess, didn't have too much damage or didn't feel it was worth fixing because he did not stop in his box, didn't lose any track position.
So remember, Sean Rowe and Cameron Chandler kind of got into it a little bit there, coming to the end of the stage. Rowe actually beats him off pit road here. Will we see any more contact between those two?
That's going to be frustrating for Chandler to finally get that spot, now lose it again.
Yeah, but he got good stage points. Also getting good stage points is now they come to the shoes. Braden Hunsaker against the shoes behind his teammate. Braden Hunsaker is going to be in a good position to maybe lock himself in after the checkered flag tonight to the championship 4 after he came in plus 33 to the cut line tonight after his win in Talladega last week.
As Bryce Ben makes a very late decision, I think that'll be fine though.
Yeah, everyone looked all right there.
And Dylan Banks, with his third place stage finish, now in the front row, Dylan Banks with his third place stage finish will pass Sean Pilkowicz in the points and is now the final driver into the playoffs by a few points over Ashton Miller.
Yeah, that's going to be so interesting to follow. There's going to be either 2 or 3 Ethan Chandler racing cars in that battle for the final spot inside the championship 4. And then can't forget about Ashton Miller either, or even John Butler. I know he's not had a good night at all tonight. I don't think he's currently running outside of top 10, 13th right now. I mean, he's had an okay night, but nothing notable. All right.
I believe Miller finished 7th in that stage, so still within striking distance of Dylan Banks.
Here we go. Matthew White. Surprisingly, I mean, I know he's Matthew White, but not really the best at Dover, having an incredibly dominant run so far tonight. Here we go. Dylan Banks, who's inside, was really, really quick later in the stage. As we come back to the restart in Dover once again. Not the best restart for Dylan Banks on the inside. The 2 Highline cars get away pretty nicely as they head side by side back into 1 and 2. Chandler now, what a great restart he got to the outside of Dylan Banks. As they
said, the restart on the bottom with the wheel spin really hurt Dylan Banks in the restart like it did for Donahue and after obviously but still going to cost him some track position early.
Oh, Banks going to slide up the racetrack. Here comes Cameron Chandler, going to clear him for 3rd place. And now you got Sean Rowe there to the outside lane. Banks now losing spots on this restart. Aiden Donahue back there as well. He's been quiet tonight. And Donahue looking to the inside for 5th.
That spin out of the race for Donahue is just been trying to recover, and he's almost back into the top 5 on where he can start trying to get new positions and get back up to the top 3 or 4. Back
So, of course, they're not good on fuel to the end of the race here. They would have to pit once again to end this one if we go all the way green. Here we go. Donahue sliding way up the racetrack. Has to catch it. His teammate Ashton Miller to the inside there. Nearly a crash. He might lose a spot to Miller. But he's got some good momentum.
He's starting to get frustrated and starting to get more aggressive, and it just got away from him there.
And that was nearly a slide up into Dylan Banks. That could have been bad. So cleared. There's Sherry again to the outside of Miller, and he'll take 7th away. Miller back to 8th. There's Sherry. Currently holds that position up front. Braden Hunsaker's all over the back bumper of his teammate, Matthew White. You got Cameron Chandler running there in 3rd. We'll see what kind of pace Chandler can have on this long run. Oh, in the wall. Goes to 77 on Hunsaker.
Matthew White not able to get away super well early here. We saw at last run, he started off close to Braden Hunsaker. Hunsaker trying to keep him up with him, but as it went on, White slowly pulled further and further away. So we'll see what happens this time.
As they head down the front stretch yet again, back into 1 and 2. There's Chandler currently running in 3rd.
You see Chandler running up a little bit, I think trying to stay out of the dirty air. Hunsaker, even from that far back, the dirty air is still a very big effect here, David.
Yeah, talking about dirty air, I can't imagine being in that mid-pack like Richard Cheery and Ashton Miller. I mean, I would hate to be in their position right now. 3 cars in front of them at Dover with the next gen. With them all being single file. Everyone is single file. There's no person on track right now running the top line.
Under 90 laps to go in Dover. There's Dylan Banks. Of course, got that pretty poor restart. Now runs 5th. Cameron Chandler, he's going to be trying to run down these top 2. He is definitely hungry for another Cup Series win, which would be at the start of the year if he could get it.
Trying to get that momentum built back up for Chandler. Had a good start to the season, but like you had said earlier, playoffs, it's just been a struggle so far with bad luck and things out of his control. But looking to change that tonight.
Trying to run down the 77 Hunsaker now for 2nd place. Highline Motorsports historically not the best at Dover, like I said earlier. Of course, they were terrible in Season 1. We took a season off at Dover in Season 2, didn't come here. Season 3, they won the race with Aiden Donahue, but Matthew White and Braden Hunsaker were nowhere to be seen in that race for the most part. Now they're running 1 and 2. Definitely advanced something.
Right now, once you get the track position, it's not easy to hang on, but we saw with Knox earlier, the defense he was able to put up. Once you get the track position, it's very difficult for people to get by, especially if you're as fast as those two. It's going to be hard for Cameron Chandler to get by Matthew White, being such an advantage here.
Up the racetrack a little bit goes Ashton Miller, now cutting back down low. Bryce Benson might have a run down the front stretch, the back stretch as they go. Aiden Donahue still, though, running there in 6th. I mean, not been a race-leading night we maybe expected out of the 82. It's been a very surprising night. I thought, like, top 5 in this race would have been Aiden Donahue, Cameron Chandler, Dylan Banks. But we haven't seen most of them really lead too many laps here at all. Matthew White pretty dominant. Oh my God, I can't talk. Anyways, I mean, I know he's very, very good anywhere else, but usually at Dover, he's definitely struggles. Not tonight.
Yeah, one of those outliers out of the top 5, Sean Rowe. I know he's fast, and he has done some pretty good finishes, but running top 5 at Dover, one of the challenging tracks in the next gen, is a great accomplishment for him. We can also talk about how
Richard Cherry, who was in that wreck earlier in the race, has recovered back up into the top 10. I didn't think the damage would be too bad, and it doesn't look like it has been so far. Fortunately for Gio Turpin, obviously out of the race now. Disappointing end of the night for him as you see Payson Lindsay and Trent Wilson.
Oh!
Ooh.
Man! That was almost a bad crash between these two. That could have been terrible.
Yeah, Wilkins frustrated, obviously, with the mistake early, and then being stuck back in traffic has just been a rough night for him.
It's stayed by Wilkins though. That was very impressive off the exit of 4. Thought he had it lost there.
Still thinking back, I don't want to say it again, but Trent Wilkin, that penalty he had for the shoes cone, that has just killed his race.
Yeah, that, and then he got stuck behind Knox for so long and used his tires up at the end of the stage. That's probably why he fell off so bad. Just run his tires up and obviously couldn't hold on to the track position. And now he's just stuck there again.
79 laps to go in Dover. Battle for second beginning to heat up between Braden Hunsaker and Cameron Chandler. Cameron Chandler needs to go now if he wants to try to chase down Matthew White for this race win.
They'll have another round of Green Flag pit stop, so everybody's going to have to do that, and I think it should be pretty straightforward on fuel right now.
So the racetrack goes Chandler back at a 1 and 2.
Chandler trying to move up and get some clean airs. We see other people throughout the field starting to move up a little bit. Just trying to find somewhere where dirty air is not quite so bad. We can try to build some momentum up there. You see Braden starting to move up to try to defend from that. And Chandler moved a little higher up.
Yeah, this is going to be, these two continue to battle. They're going to start to maybe allow Matthew White to pull away. As they head down the front stretch yet again. Chandler needs to try to get around Hunsaker as soon as possible. Braden is definitely keeping his car on the way. And once you get in the wake behind that race car that you're following, it's definitely hard to make a move.
Yeah, we saw Chandler earlier on trying to move around and trying to get to the outside of Huntsicker, but now he seems to be moving back to the bottom. Maybe he didn't like the way the top felt as Huntsicker start entering high and kind of diamonding the corner, or arcing the entry a little bit, and he comes down across the front of Chandler, and that is the worst possible dirty arrow position to put the guy behind you in.
Dylan Banks now still battling here with Aiden Donahue. White is pulled away now. These two continue to battle for second place. Up the racetrack now goes the aid of Cameron Chandler. We'll see what kind of run he can have off corner exit. No.
Now Huntsicker goes to the bottom, so does Chandler. That's probably going to hurt Chandler's center of the corner, but he's still able to keep the momentum up. It seems turn 1 and 2 is worse for dirty air effect here.
And how will pit stops work once we get to that whole situation? Cole Clausen running back in 15th place right now. What is the fuel window looking like lap 28, lap 128 right now? Underway.
I have 74 laps left of field, but I have been fuel saving, so it might be a lot more for other drivers. But I think there's a chance I can make it to the end, but we'll see.
All right, that's definitely a key thing to know now.
Tire fall off of you. How bad did you say the tires are falling off?
Tire fall off? You know, I'm trying to tire save at the same time, but I think it could get pretty bad at the end, but we'll just have to wait and see if we get a caution or not.
It'll be interesting to see if anybody does try to stretch it. It's going to be very tight on fuel, and obviously tires to see how far off the pace they'll be, if they will be as bad as I think they'll be, but maybe it won't be terrible.
70 laps to go in Dover. Matthew White still now has a 1 second lead over his teammate. Braden Huntsicker third place. Cameron Chandler a little bit faster than 77, just can't find a way around with the dirty air in his way.
Yeah, I definitely think that some drivers will have to choose a decision between staying out and trying to save fuel like Cole Clausen's doing, or just pushing out and hoping for the best and hoping that the tire fall off is indeed faster and just taking a stop, getting it over with. I wonder what we'll see from the leaders, the top 10. We may have some people in the lower top 10s, like maybe like Payson Lindsay or Bryce Benton, try to maybe pull off a strategy call here and maybe get the win done here as
Chandler moving into second now, past Braden Huntsicker. That's it.
We're looking at now Asher Miller just passed Cherry. I was going to mention that, but now even bigger pass step for second place. Real quick, I want to see how he got around him. That was a tough pass to try and make. Oh, he got him at the right spot. Moved to the inside on the 77. Wow. Power move for Cameron Chandler. And now he's up to P2. About 1.5 seconds behind your leader, Matthew White.
one bad pit stop by Matthew White that could cause all this gap now just to decrease. As we know, Cameron Chandler has been driving like a maniac. He has been super fast in the second half of the race, and I do believe he will be able to catch up. Now, I wonder if Braden Huntsicker will work with him or try to help battle him so Matthew White gets a bigger gap and help out his teammate.
This is the first time we've seen Chandler really have clean air this whole race, so it'll be interesting to see how different his speed is, if he's faster than Matthew White or if he's anywhere close to him, if he's able to run him down now that he finally has some clean racetrack.
So far not catching or pulling away from Braden Huntsicker, or catching Matthew White, I should say. Still a long ways to go in this race. Lap 137 underway. Fourth place now going on between Sean Rowe and Dylan Banks. This was a pass that was made in the first half. Can Banks repass the 20?
If you're some of the playoff guys like Cameron Chandler, Braden Huntsicker, Matthew White, Dylan Banks that need points, not Matthew White doesn't need points, but Ashton Miller that need points, you probably do the more conservative strategy and pit at some point in the stage and take the first tires. But if you're John Butler who struggled tonight, Trenton Wilkin, who lost the track position with the penalty earlier, has not been able to recover. You might see some of them be more aggressive and maybe try to stretch their fuel and tires to the end of the race.
The racetrack again goes to 48 to Dylan Banks, back into 3 and 4. White has caught White over the last, or I should say, Chandler was starting to catch him, but now he's maybe starting to back off. The racetrack, there goes Dylan Banks again. Still a lot of things to happen in this race. Who knows what could go down in Dover tonight. It's been a absolutely insane playoff so far. I mean, the drivers that we thought were going to win the race, I mean, you think back to Las Vegas, Dylan Banks, we all thought had it in the bag. Late race caution changed everything. Then you go to Charlotte. I mean, we even thought Trenton Wilkin had it in the bag. He lost it, Braden Hunsick, and then somehow Matthew White able to save enough fuel. He won that race. Then to Martinsville, Dylan Banks had it in the bag. Again, Matthew White steals another one. Then we go to Talladega. Unbelievable final lap crash where it was Cameron Chandler up front. Gets spun around, takes out multiple cars. Braden Hunsicker comes out of nowhere and wins that one. I mean, this thing isn't over till it's over. Lap traffic now for White. This one Cobbs Jr. ahead of him. He might compromise his exit a little bit. Oh, he's in the whoa! Man, Cobbs having an issue down the front straightaway.
Cobbs will get down to the apron. Cameron Chandler going to up the racetrack a little bit, and with that, that might allow Chandler to close in a little bit on Matthew. It doesn't look like it helped him too much, but it might help him a bit here.
It's like gain a tenth or two off that incident with Ron Cobbs.
Saw Sean Rowe go up the racetrack a little bit. Dylan Banks got to his inside row, of course, able to carry the speed mid and off corner.
Sean Rowe moving up the racetrack a bit, trying to just keep Dylan Banks behind him. It's so difficult to pass on the inside. You saw Chandler do it on Matthew White, which is incredibly impressive to me because it's been so difficult to do tonight.
Riding along with Dylan Banks in 5th. See a little bit of shifting here. Yeah, they're shifting down the 4th gear. Yeah, still 1.6 seconds for the lead between Matthew White and Cameron Chandler up front. Top 3 all from the playoffs. The only playoff driver inside the top, non-playoff driver inside the top 5 is Sean Rowe in 5th. You got another non-playoff driver, Aiden Donnie, running in 6th, and playoff driver Ashton Miller in 7th.
Speaking of playoff drivers, Trenton Wilkin is having a terrible day. It's getting worse and worse for him. He has now fallen 2 seconds off of P10, which he was just battling with 5 laps earlier.
Look.
This is a tight battle here between Benton, Cherry, and Lindsay.
3 cars from Team Chevy Motor Club way up the racetrack goes the 9. They're 3 wide, heading back into 1 and 2 as they head down the back stretch. Here at Dover in the drone camera, kind of a cool angle. Back into 3 and 4 they go. These two, and now Lindsay looking like he's going to clear Bryce Benson. Barely Benson working back to the inside. These two are all over three, I should say, all over each other. All from the same organization, Team Chevy Motor Club, running 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Or 8th, 9th, and 10th, I should say.
I did hear Trent Wilkin say over the radio, it sounded like he has left side damage, so I'm not sure if that came from the contact we saw earlier between him, Knox, and Pace and Lindsay, or if that was another point in the race that we missed. As he's going to hit the wall again off the corner, it's just going to struggle the second half of our race.
Yes, exactly what he didn't want to see. Entered -11, had that big penalty while leading the race, not the choose cone, and it has just really killed his race ever since now. As Aiden Ron being caught lap traffic with Matthew White.
Cameron Chandler has closed in a little bit, saw the gap get down to 1.3 for a second, and there it's back down to 1.3. Chandler is closing in slowly, and will it be enough time? I don't know. But it seems like Chandler might be a little bit better right now.
Well, he's got 50 laps and a pit stop, so anything can happen. Those milliseconds count in that pit lane. I really think that pit stop right there has to be the money stop. It is going to determine how you do in this race, especially for Cameron Chandler and Matthew White.
Matthew White loses
does a good job.
Yeah, but he still lost a few tenths.
Yeah, it looked like there was some confusion whether Rahman was going to go to the bottom or top, but eventually he did decide to go to the top and checked up enough for him.
50 laps to go and over. Oh, crashed on the front straightaway. Juan Cobbs Jr.
Juan Cobbs.
Cobbs.
No caution, we
He's
say.
had
Oh, caution's out.
And there's the caution.
Wow. That
And that's
changes
gonna
everything.
change everything.
Yep.
I think they can make it on fuel now.
The first caution out at this stage. Let's take a look what happened to Juan Cobbs Jr. He was a lap down. Oh, he's the
Juan
inside of
Cobbs
William
has been
Reagan.
Struggling all night. We've seen him get lapped
Oh.
a couple of times now. Oh,
That is his teammate, William Reagan. Wow. That's not what we want to see if you're a team owner, Landon Johnson.
Can't imagine 36 car's right rear is perfect right now. He had a pretty hard hit on that.
even a left rear.
Yeah, I would be worried about the right rear, definitely.
Where?
And thankfully,
will be the free pass. That'll be a good break for him.
What will your leaders do?
I think at this point, the best strategy is to pit. Some might stay and try to catch a bunch of yellows, but I think most people will probably hit pit road.
Here we
in my
go.
opinion, if I'm a driver like Cole Clausen, I would stay out and hope for a caution because you already have enough fuel. As they enter the pit lane, most people pit. Obviously, Zane Robinson's going to take that free pass. Yeah, looks like everyone's coming in nice and orderly. No pit barrel incidents or nothing like that.
It'll be interesting if somebody tries 2 tires here, depending on how bad the tire fall off was. It didn't seem too terrible, so 2 tires could be a strategy call here.
Looks like most people in the back are taking 4. As people in the top 10 all come to their pit stops. It looks like Cameron Chandler and Matthew White are taking 4.
Somebody like John Butler, I would consider doing 2.
Not really anyone took 2, I don't think.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Cameron Chandler may beat him off the pit lane. Oh, it's going to be close. He missed out on
Chandler
it.
got it.
Oh, Matthew
Matthew
White, a
White's
penalty!
Speeding penalty.
Oh, man, that
Speeding
changes
penalty.
everything. Wow.
And that's going to be good thing he's locked into the next round. That's going to be devastating for his race, and it's going to be difficult to recover from that.
Matthew White has a history of late race speeding penalties when it counts, even though how good he is, and that is a huge one. Under 50 to go. And Chandler going to take the lead. How about Richard Cherry? I believe Richard Cherry might have taken 2 tires.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what he did. That was so lucky for Cameron Chandler and so unlucky for Matthew White. Had a near perfect race, and one mistake is probably going to take him out of it.
So sad. I'm looking at the data right now. He went 36 miles an hour right for a split second. Like, I wouldn't even consider it a second. It was so unlucky as Cameron Chandler and Richard Cherry choose the top. And Braden Hunsaker's going to lose the inside.
Going to be interesting with Hunsaker here. We've seen the bottom with wheel spin on the restarts. We'll see if Hunsaker can keep up with it. I know I keep mentioning it, but we've seen issues with Donahue, Dylan Banks, and Connor Asbell.
Yeah,
Now, can Cameron Chandler turn his playoffs around? As we were talking about, the bad luck with Cameron Chandler. Hopefully, he can get this win here. He chose a gamble. He's choosing the outside with his teammate, Richard Cherry. Hopefully, he can beat Braden Hunsaker off the line. And, yeah, hopefully he can get this win. At least he's hoping for it.
Yep, we're going to restart here. There's going to be 46 laps to go. Matthew White going to restart outside the top 10, obviously. Probably starting 15th. Here we go. We were under a long run, but a caution comes out. Matthew White speeds on pit road, changes absolutely everything. It's going to be Cameron Chandler, Braden Hunsaker leading this field back to the green flag. We are back to green and Dover. A bit of a stack up on both lanes as we get back underway. Good start though for Cameron Chandler. He's going to have maybe the 77. No, he clears him. Heading back into 1 and 2.
A little bit of a stack up on the bottom. Not too bad though, as we see Juan Cobbs re-enter the track. Going to be tight off this corner. It's so difficult to keep up the wall.
Look at Dylan Banks.
Like,
Whoa! They squeeze each other back here. Heading back down the front stretch of Dover.
Work on Lindsay. He's going to get Lindsay, and now try to get placement.
Now for the lead, Braden Hunsaker fighting on the back bumper of Cameron Chandler. He is there, all over each other as they head down the back stretch again. Hunsaker making his way to the inside. In the 77, Chandler loose on the top. Hunsaker back down low. trying to clear, but Chandler back on the outside lane, door to door down the front stretch for the lead of this race. Hunsicker fights back down low on the inside. Chandler, though, still has that outside momentum coming as they head down the backstretch. Big run for Cameron Chandler, though. He is still not clear. Oh, but he gets loose again.
Richard Cherry on 2 tires being able to hang one up towards the front. We'll see if that call actually pays off for him.
And Hunsicker clears him, but Chandler back to the inside. We had a crash.
Around.
2 cars go around.
Pacing Lindsay down.
No caution.
Playoff implications for John Butler. That may sign his green flag still. That's going to hurt him even more as we're side by side for the lead. Cameron Chandler, Brady Hunsicker is probably going to get out to run off the
Oh, he's in the wall.
Oh, he's in the wall.
That's a big shot for Hunsicker as Chandler continues to fight on the inside lane. He watches him way up the racetrack. Where is Cherry going to go? Chandler to his quarter panel, clears back in line. Goes to the outside, he's loose! Oh, Cameron Chandler is sideways, saves the race car, nearly goes around, and gonna lose multiple spots, nearly gets ran into, and he's fallen all the way back.
First time he tries the outside lane with his tires slightly more warm, he gets loose. That is maybe his race win. He still has 40 laps to go to catch back up. That is just utter sadness probably for Cameron Chandler. Was battling there side by side for like around 6 to 7 laps, and he tries to go on the outside and just loses the rear end of the car. You've been seeing it all around the exit, but I've never seen it in the mid-corner.
Look at Bryce Benson down on the inside and Donahue as they head side by side back into 3 and 4 with 40 laps to go in Dover.
And now we look at Richard Cherry, who's up in second here on that 2-tire call. That might be an extremely beneficial call, especially if you get a couple cautions here. He might have a shot at the restart, at a win here if we get a couple restarts.
Man, that was insane. Now, Hunsicker has a 4/10-second lead over Cherry. Dylan Banks, how about him running in third, doing exactly what he needs to do? How about Trenton Wilkin up the P6?
What a recovery for Wilkin. You can see Chandler trying to get around him on the outside.
Chandler got around Sean Rowe. We know that 8 car is still very, very quick. Just had that huge moment, and he's back to the outside on the 12 of Wilkin. But he's going to need more cautions and more things to fall his way if Cameron Chandler wants a shot at this win once again. Oh, he's in the wall. And no clear.
I'm not sure Chandler has the time to get back up to Braden Hunsicker, but he could probably still get up to third or second, which would still be a very good point stay for him. And I know it's not going to make him feel any better. He probably thinks he could have won this race, but it still would be a good recovery for him.
Look at the 82, Aiden Donahue looking inside on Dylan Banks. Donahue doing everything he can up here. It's been not a very, very quiet outside of that spin he had. Side by side between 2 Toyotas, Sean Rowe and Trenton Wilkin for 7th. Matthew White mired back there in 9th. Ashton Miller currently runs P10.
Trenton Wilkin having all those issues before this yellow, and he is doing great as he moves. I think that's Sean Rowe trying to get on that inside line. Inside line is very vital for the battle. I think that's definitely winning lane. So side by side, Sean Rowe's going to get the run in the wall contact.
I think at this point Wilkin is frustrated. He might have to start getting more aggressive with trying to pass people here.
At the same time, it has been shown. He has evidence of getting aggressive. Does not work with him. He got aggressive with Knox Thompson, and that started his downfall with this race. You could say the juice cone also caused that, but I believe it was mainly Knox Thompson holding him up and hitting his aggression.
And there's Matthew White now trying to battle for 8th place with the 12 of Trenton Wilkin. 7 car, of course, led the most laps in this race. Speeding penalty on pit road. Another late race mistake to put Matthew White probably out of this one for the win.
Just goes to show, I know we've been talking about clean air a lot, but it goes to show how important it is, because as soon as Matthew White gets back in the pack, he looked beatable for once, but once he had the clean air, he was untouchable early in the race.
Oh, in the wall a little bit. Now, Cameron Chandler is kind of stalled out. Again to the outside, there's the 12 Trent Wilkin on Sean Rowe. Chandler was rapidly catching everyone. He stalled out now in 6th place.
Yeah, I'd imagine sliding the tires like that definitely took some life out of him, and it looks like it's started to finally catch up with him.
How about Cole Clausen up to 11th place around William Reagan?
Gets a little bit of wall off of turn 4.
30 to go in Dover. Braden Hunsicker now 1 second lead over Richard Cherry. What a run he's having. Hasn't been the fastest car all night, obviously. It was maybe a 7th to 10th place car for most of the day, but currently runs in P2. Braden Hunsicker in the wall a little bit. Can't do that too many times. Just trying to hold on for this win. Would be 2 straight wins for Hunsicker after getting that insanely, I don't want to say lucky win, but probably lucky win in Talladega.
Yeah, let's just be honest. It was kind of lucky, you know, it's Talladega.
Here we go, Matthew White. Now side by side with Ashton Miller. Miller actually trying to pass Matthew White here. On the low side he goes and will clear the 7-0 crossover back down low for Matthew.
What a battle here as we see William Reagan get back past Cole Clausen. Clearly the damage for Reagan wasn't as bad as he thought it was going to be from when he got in the wall with Juan Cobbs.
Not as gone. This has not gone Matthew White's way after he got that speeding penalty at all.
Keep Miller behind him now.
I mean, he's not even fast. He's almost going to lose 9th here. Hunsicker making his way around the lap car, Juan Cobbs Jr.
Just goes to show how important that clean air is. As soon as he lost the clean air, he's not been able to go really anywhere.
Oh, Cherry. Oh, this is awful. Oh, my God. What is the lap car? Oh, my. That is going to kill his momentum.
Hard hit off the outside, on the outside wall of the exit of 4-2. I wouldn't be surprised if he has some sort of wheel damage. Hopefully he doesn't. He is.
There's nothing race effective. Juan Cobbs has just struggled all race and just off the pace right now. Just trying to stay out of people's way, but it's so hard at a track like Dover.
Of course,
garage is the car out there.
Juan Cobbs has caused the only caution in this stage so far, which happened about lap 150 something. Here is Donahue to the inside. Oh, he's got, oh my God, steps on the brakes. He is just in the way at this point. He did a good job for the most part in this race, keeping out of the way, but now it's kind of bad. As Cameron Chandler now battles with the 9 of Bryce Benton. What is for 5th place between these two Team Chevy Motor Club teammates. The racetrack back in 1-2.
Just don't understand what Juan Cobbs is doing. He's 5 laps down. I get he's in lucky dog position, but you won't get a lucky dog if you get an incident in the same caution. I really think he is a moving chicane out there on the exit of the corners.
And Chandler on the bumper of Bryce Benton. How aggressive is he going to race his teammate for now at the spot inside the top 5?
We saw him move Sean Rowe at the end of the stage for an extra point. What would he do to his teammate for a 5th position? I know it's obviously not where Chandler wants to be fighting, but with the frustration of making that mistake, how does he race a driver like Bryce Benton, who is his teammate, but also I believe Chandler's faster than him?
Also, Chandler being in the playoffs, I think he sees more of a value of him passing him. So I think he's going to be a little aggressive here and go for the pass here soon.
6 of the 8 playoff drivers currently run inside the top 10, so it's been a pretty solid day for the playoff drivers, to say the least. I don't really recall too many playoff driver issues outside of that Matthew White speeding penalty.
We saw John Butler in that wreck on the restart with Payson Lindsay that didn't bring out a caution. That's really hurt him, set him 9 seconds behind the leader. And Wilkin at the start of the race with his shoes cutting mistake, that's really going to be hurting him in the points after today.
20 laps to go in Dover for Braden Hunsicker after his teammate absolutely choked it away on pit road. He's back to 10th, just got passed by Ashton Miller, and then of course was in that battle with the aid of Cameron Chandler at the end there. Chandler had another big issue, and now he's just able to try to cruise to victory lane with 20 laps to go.
Yeah, Matthew White is losing time right now to William Reagan. There must be Maybe his driving style, he's not used to the dirty air. I would have to assume that, or maybe he has some damage that we did not see off the restart of that last caution. I really don't know what's happening. He is losing extreme amount of time to William Reagan.
Really intense place. Reagan trying to get
every single lap.
Reagan trying to get his way inside the top 10. Finish with P for the 36.
Chandler's starting to get frustrated with Bryce Benton. He's getting ready to maybe move him or force his way in, but I heard on the radio he was starting to get a little frustrated.
Yeah, these two have history, even though they're teammates. Remember at Watkins Glen, Bryce Benson, oh my god, a little bit of a voice crack there, but whatever. Cameron Chandler was fuming at Bryce Benson at the end of that one. And you'll just have to rewatch that to see what happened. Now look at Bryce Benson to the inside of Aiden Donahue. Aiden Donahue is sideways.
Oh, wow.
He'll save the race car. Oh man, that could have been bad. And he'll get past now by 2 cars. Donahue falls to 6th.
Great save by Donahue.
Yeah, looks like a little bit of net code maybe, but certainly going to be frustrated. Dylan Banks certainly going to be frustrated with Bryce Benton there.
And that's not where Donahue wants to be. As normally a really fast car at Dover, you know, and dropping down to 6th, it's just kind of saddening.
I'm almost wondering if he did maybe get some damage on that restart right early in the race, and it's just hindered his performance the rest of the race. We see Matthew White trying to get back by Ashton Miller while also trying to defend from William Reagan.
We know Matthew White is locked in, so he does not have to do any dumb decisions. He can take a top 10 and leave with a good day. Don't think he should overly be aggressive and get useless penalty coming up.
I know William Reagan would love a top 10 right now. He's on the bumper of Matthew White for 10th. Reagan to the 36, down to the inside, still can't get there. Whoa, what a slow car in the way. That's the one of Zane Rahman. Really slow down the front straightaway. Must have had an issue. He's got damage in that one car. Trying to get this thing back up to speed.
Looks like he was trying to not get in between Richard Cherry's exit off of turn 4 and him. Did a good job, in my opinion. I think man, he's ripping that top. Cameron Chandler.
Cameron's starting to get desperate here, trying to find a little bit of extra speed to get back that Bryce Benton.
You don't know, with all these close calls, you never know. You could see a caution, 12 laps to go in Dover. Anything's possible.
Especially with all these lap cars, you know, anything can happen.
If we would get a caution, it would be interesting to see with Richard Cherry doing so well on 2 tires. Would somebody try to stay out? Would other people take 2 tires, or would everybody just do 4 tires?
Matthew White now trying to rebattle here with Ashton Miller. Even more further back is Juan Cobbs Jr. There's a battle here of John Butler and Knox Thompson for 13th place. Braden Hunsaker continues to lead in Dover with 10 laps to go at the Dover Motor Speedway, trying to go back-to-back Cup Series wins. They're somehow winning in Talladega last week. This would definitely be a deserved one, even though his competition, Cameron Chandler, almost spun out, and Matthew White, that pit road speeding penalty, he has had a great race.
Execution's so important in these playoffs, as close as it is between those 3 drivers. All season has been close between those 3. And execution's so important. We saw one mistake from Matthew White completely take him out of contention and change his race.
Braden Hunsinger, in my opinion, was one of the most consistent drivers today. He has been second behind Matthew White the entire day. And let's be honest, Matthew White had some incredible pace here. And Hunsinger stayed put. He kept in the fight as Cameron Chandler's in the wall. Yeah, he kept in the fight. I think he deserves this win, and he's done pretty good. As we still have 8 to go, anything can happen. But
battle for second beginning to heat up between Richard Cherry and Dylan Banks.
Looking good for Braden Hunsicker here. Just gonna be completely honest. I agree with Andrew Stacy here. He has had the pace. Other than really Matthew White, he's had it all day.
And he's been the only playoff driver I've seen so far without any mistakes or anything go wrong for him really at all, other than Dylan Banks, who just qualified rough and just hasn't ever been able to get to the front. This is the closest we've seen him to second all day.
playoff drivers at the end. They currently occupy 6 of the top 10 spots, so they haven't had a bad day at the end of it. 6 laps to go. William Bragan looking inside on Matthew White again. He is looking for a top 10. Would love to have that. Non-playoff driver, of course, eliminated in the round of 12. These two have history. Remember back to Charlotte in the playoffs this season. They got together in the closing laps. There's Ashton Miller on the bumper. Trent Wilkin got 2 seconds for Braden Hunsicker up front. Hopefully for him to cruise the victory lane with 4 to go. Hope not for a caution to come out, and he should win his 5th race of the season. Man, he is racking up these wins all of a sudden.
I think it's me being in the booth. I think I'm his lucky charm.
Of course, wins at Atlanta, Gateway. The Brickyard 400 took a while off, and then won at Talladega last week. Now looking for back-to-back wins. 3 laps to go and over.
Hunsicker starting to establish himself as possibly the favorite for the championship. Him and Matthew White very close in speed all year. Matthew White's had a little bit more raw speed, but we've seen Hunsicker, like today, execute a little bit better, so it'll be interesting to see towards the end of the season.
Hard of the wall. Bryce Benson now with 2 laps to go. Braden Hunsicker just wants to see that white flag. Lap car. Cole Lawson has just fallen off. Not sure what's going on with him. Late to go, and he's up the racetrack again, nearly in the wall. Hunsicker just trying to bring it out around to that white flag. You'll see it this time by 1 lap to go. End over for Braden Hunsicker. What a race he's had as of late. Actually, of course, able to just take advantage of that late race chaos. His teammate sped on pit row, and then he heads down the backstretch for the final time, looking to lock himself in officially to the championship for the 4th straight season. Through 3 and 4 he's going to go. The 77 has done it yet again. Back-to-back wins and career win number 10. Braden Hunsicker wins in Dover. 2nd, how about Richard Cherry? 3rd, Dylan Banks. 4th, Benton. 5th across the line, Cameron Chandler. And, oh man!
Oh.
Matthew White just holds on for P10.
Double digits for Braden Hunsicker, 10 wins. More to come next season or at Homestead. You never know.
Kicking canvas for the kid.
He is the 4th driver in NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series history to break into the double digits. Joins Matthew White, Aiden Walker, and Aiden Donahue. Can't get much better than that. And he will burn it down. Your winner in Dover. Half of his career wins have came just in this season. That's impressive. I mean, for a guy that's been around as long as he has been, he hasn't missed this, obviously hasn't missed a single race this season. I don't think he's missed, maybe missed like 2 or 3 races in NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series history. He's been here ever since this first ever Season 1 Daytona 500. I mean, he was even here in the first ever session of preseason Thunder. Braden Hunsicker, obviously a league-wide veteran, and so good to see him continuing success tonight. Your winner in Dover. 10th career win. Of course, 5th of the season. Back-to-back wins. What a night for Richard Cherry. I know, probably maybe a little bit sad it's so close again, but the driver at the 29 finished 2nd. And how about Dylan Banks? 3rd place is exactly the kind of run he needed tonight.
Yeah, what a 2-tire call by Cherry. I'd imagine several of the playoff guys that didn't finish great, like Ashton Miller, who finished 9th, which is respectable. But I'd imagine some of them are going to be looking back on this and wondering what would have happened if they would have taken 2 tires like Richard Cherry did.
And just a great strategy call out of him. And sorry to Ethan Trendler for being late to the booth. You know, the number 88 Xfinity car team had some meetings, and so we were late to the booth, you know, but we're glad to be here in the end, obviously.
Yeah, Braden Hunsicker can't find victory lane. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what kind of meeting you guys are having after finishing 22nd again. By the way,
that's what the meeting was on.
Fun fact, Brody Webster has 1 career top 10 in the Xfinity Series.
Yep, and about 10 races done.
Brody
And about
Webster
four
really
of
needs to
them-
lock in to
nope,
get that QM offer. You know, he's just not.
Nah, he
not
hasn't performed
performing.
well enough.
Braden Hunsaker still is struggling to find victory lane.
He
drove right
has
past
passed it already.
So Ethan Trendler has actually had 0 top 10s in the FedEx Cup or Xfinity Series. Just wanted to put that out there.
Well, there's a reason because I have exactly 0 starts. So. I mean, I was looking today. Brody Webster has a lot of finishes outside the top 20 in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of super speedways that Birdie Webster has done and gotten wrecked in by
The average car
idiots
count in
like Max
Xfinity is only
Diffie.
like 24.
There he goes.
There he is now, and
And he
and he's
crashes.
killed the crowd.
He'll crash
Welcome
into victory.
to
Oh,
victory lane.
oh. I don't think they're going to be very happy at us. Dover
Driver.
Motor Speedway.
Driver.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, they might.
Hey, at least he's taking good pictures in there. It
We
looks like
better get
they're
out of here
insane.
before we get sued by Dover.
Yeah, I don't think we can afford that.
Well,
Hey,
this will come
so
out of
gonna
Next week
need,
is Texas,
Highline
right,
Racing's
Ethan
budget.
Chandler?
Yep. Of course, yeah. The NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series heads to Texas Motor Speedway next week for the final race.
Do you think the
round of
88
eight.
team invests in a hauler to transport them to Texas Motor Speedway?
No.
We don't have a hauler? How do we not have a hauler?
Nope. No. We don't have a
6x8
hauler this
trailer.
week, but we could purchase one with
So,
the money that we've won over the season.
So Cameron Chandler and
One over the
Cole Wilson haven't bought you guys a hauler.
Well, I had to
Nope.
buy the
They're
22nd
very
best
broke.
driver a hauler.
Oh my god. All right. Anyways, that'll do it in Dover. Post-race interviews coming
Welcome,
up.
Braden Hunsicker. Coming in P1. Congratulations, man. I've called 2 races and you've won both of them. You know, I just have to say congratulations, man, and I am loving being your lucky charm. Good race
Hey,
driver.
thank you, man. I mean, it's awesome. I was not the fastest car all night, but it just fell right into our hands, and I'm just happy that this Highline Motorsports 77 could get back into the victory lane for the first time. We've went back to back ever. So I mean, feels great, and I'm excited for Texas.
Brandon Hunsaker, you executed perfectly tonight. One of the few playoff guys that had little to no mistakes. Talk about how important that was in the race tonight.
Yeah. You couldn't make mistakes at all. I mean, the car was just so on edge, and I mean, any slight movement could cost you your day. I mean, you saw it with Cameron. The car just, I don't know what happened with him, but he almost wrecked it going to turn 3 when I was battling him for the lead. But just super unfortunate for him. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we executed all day, didn't make any mistakes, and yeah, so I'm just proud of us.
So with this, Brandon, you'll most likely lock yourself into the championship 4 after back-to-back wins. So what is that relief off your shoulders heading to Texas Motor Speedway next week for the round of 8 cutoff?
Well, considering my luck this season, it could really go bad or good. So I mean, I'm just glad that we're locked in, so we could really try anything next week, go for the win. But yeah, I'm just glad that we're locked in, and yeah, there's no stress.
All right, Braden. Well, of course, big congrats. Back-to-back Cup Series wins here at Dover Motor Speedway after winning in Talladega. That's definitely this one a lot more sealed up to the end. After Talladega, you won that race in the final few corners of that huge crash on the final lap. So congrats on this one. Have fun celebrating your 5th career win of the season. You've actually gotten half your career wins just in Season 4 alone. And good luck in Texas next week. Of course, you're going to be locked into the Championship 4.
Thank you.
All right. Who?
Welcome,
Let's actually
Richard
move us
Cheery.
to the interview booth. Oh.
All right.
All right. As we officially welcome you live to the pit post-race show, and guys, I guess Brody, take away the interviews with Cheery.
Yes, sir. Welcome in, Cheery. You know, I didn't get to see most of the race, but I got to see the end of it. They were telling me you did a 2-stop pit stop. Or, I mean, sorry, not 2-stop. 2-tire pit stop. And it ended up working well for you, obviously. Coming home P2 after, a terrible race yesterday. How are you feeling about this P2 today in the NASCAR Cup Series?
Huh? Can you repeat the question? My Discord wasn't loading.
Wow.
Yep.
McDonald's employee, how are you feeling?
Oh my god.
Former employee, nice try.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, wait,
mean-
no. Let me actually repeat my question. So after doing after doing great today, running the pit strategy where you got 2 tires, and obviously working out well for you, getting P2 here at Dover Motor Speedway, and obviously doing a lot better than you did yesterday in the Xfinity race. How are you feeling today, driver?
I mean, you're gonna compare a race where I actually had pace and you just got wrecked earlier in the race, from a race that basically was like I took 2 tires because might as well try something and just got P2 there because you cannot do anything with this car. It's just kind of crazy, but if Brake had lost connection or something like that, it would have been the most Mickey Mouse win ever. So pretty good.
Were you surprised at how well the 2 tires worked there at the end, considering how far off it seems like tires matter here? Were you surprised how well it worked?
Yes and no. I mean, in cars like this, I did that last season in the iCar series, and I won the race because of the 2 tires. So combos like this, 2 tires do matter. Like track position matters a lot. So you could see Dylan Banks not even being able to get close to me there, and he had way better tires and was way faster than me. So it is what it is with this car.
All right, Cheerio, of course, great job on the run tonight, ultimately finishing in second place. You're locked into the Xfinity Series You're locked into the Xfinity Series Championship 4, but we'll see you next week from Texas.
All right.
Looks like you got a bit bored during the interview. Pulled up some Instagram reels. That is respectable. Next up, I think we have Dylan Banks.
Oh, I gotta do it. Wait.
Oh, Brody Webster.
Brody Webster, you have one job.
It's not working, guys.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
All
what
right,
happens.
Ethan
when you get
Trevor, down to you.
Nice try.
Es-
I'll drag him.
Escort him up here, please. I can't
He
drag him.
joins the race session at 10 p.m.
Welcome
Oh.
in Dylan Banks, co-owner of the McDonald's Friend Racing team. How are you feeling tonight after coming home P3 and that 48 car?
Feeling good, man. Came in, fucked up on qualifying. Excuse my language. But yeah, that's what it was. We fucked up in qualifying,
And
and
then you're gonna say it again. Wow,
yeah,
there's kids watching. There's
we
kids.
did. Absolutely screwed qualifying up, and I know how bad dirty air is here at Dover, and it was absolutely terrible. So, just grateful to get a lot of stage points and to finish podium. Went in there and did what we needed to do, and overcame a lot this race for sure after starting all the way in the back.
So after that bad qualifying starting position, did your plan or strategy change any bit, or did you just keep your head down and just went to work and just tried to crawl your way back up?
Head down, went to work. That's exactly what the mindset was. It was really, I mean, yeah, you can gamble, but when we have long green flag runs like we did, there's really not much you can gamble on. Other than like Sherry taking 2 there at the end, I really wish I would have took 2. Because I would have been the leader coming out to pits with Matthew speeding. So, and even though you're at a tire deficit, if you've got that lead and that clean air, and you could just air block somebody and get the win. So, hate that I didn't take 2 there at the end. But it is what it is. Can't go back and change it now. But super pumped and super happy to get a lot of stage points and to finish good. Because we definitely needed it after last week for sure. It was absolutely terrible last week. I don't even think we got a single point last week. So to go in and get a lot of points after starting in the back is good.
So
But
Dylan,
yeah,
you
obviously
guys,
speaking of
Dylan,
Go
you
ahead,
guys will exit this race heading to the final race of the round of 8, 10 points above the cut line. Ashton Miller -10. John Butler back there as well. You got your teammate Sean Hillquich about minus 20 or so, and then Trenton Wilkin, your other teammate, not in a very good position. So you got a nice 10-point gap coming to the race where you won last season. Is that really, really good confidence?
Yeah, I enjoyed Dover. This is one of my favorite tracks too. I hate that the setup was so tight that you couldn't do nothing. But it's just how it is. But Dover is awesome too, man. This track doesn't get enough love. It's very underappreciated. Just because of a bad setup, everybody thinks it's terrible. So, definitely don't want to put any hate on Dover for sure. But yeah, super super excited to go into Texas next week. Won there last year, and gonna definitely try to do it again. Try to exit out and move on to the Champ 4.
All right, Dylan, well, big
Great,
regret.
great
Well,
words
nice.
out of Dylan Banks, the co-owner of the McDonald's Friend Racing team. You
What he said about
know,
Dover's very true.
yep.
Yeah.
What he said about
Anyways,
Dover
Brody
very
Big-
true.
Webster
yeah,
just
yeah,
completely talking over me.
yeah. Big shout out to McDonald's Friend Racing for sure. The Brody Webster guy, whoever that guy is, I don't know. I'm playing. Shout out to all the guys at McDonald's Friends Racing. Shout out all my boys at ETR for sure. Couldn't do it without them tonight. Sean had a update last minute and wasn't able to load in time to race. So definitely hate it for him. But I mean, anything can happen. All it takes is for me to get wrecked out and for one of them to score max points, and you're out. So yeah, just all love to my guys at ETR. Love you too, Ethan. Even though the Eagles suck.
Okay.
And
Oh, wow.
JGR sucks as well.
Okay.
How about you start posting Hendrick Motorsports hollers on the race day post?
How
That'd
about
be
no? Anyways, Dylan Banks, nice job. Third place finish, exiting here at Dover, plus end of the cut line. We'll see you next week at Texas Motor Speedway for the final race for the championship
Eagles
4.
fly to the trash can. Woo! Yeah.
wow.
Road to victory. Okay. Anyways,
Oh wow, that's gonna be a points penalty.
All right. Who finished next after him?
I think
Bryce D. Benton.
Oh,
Yes.
If he has a microphone, I've never heard him talk.
Oh my gosh, nothing is working.
Brody
can-
Webster has one job, and
I can
just
only
like
move
his
him- I can move- I can
trying
move
to
him
get in the top
commentary.
10, he cannot
I
do
can move
it.
him into commentary. I'm locked for the interviews.
okay, I guess I'll
This
do
is
that.
just
You finished 4th.
what happens when you try to hire Brody Webster?
Welcome in, Bryce Benton, number 9 car. How are you feeling after the P4 finish today at Dover Motor Speedway?
It was a pretty good comeback after getting involved with that wreck with Geoturpin early in the race. It was pretty good. I apologize to Aiden Donahue for getting into him. It was mostly netcode anyway. But still gonna say sorry about it. But yeah, it was a pretty good drive. I'm surprised I was able to get up to P4. The track position was just everything tonight, and yeah, I don't know. It's just a really weird race. I mean, I haven't really done a race where you just can't, like, you physically just cannot pass really in a while. So I don't know. It was pretty good, pretty good recovery drive considering it's just so hard to pass tonight.
So
About
you
that
had
wreck-
CJ, you go.
Oh my
Bro,
God,
why do I
Andrew
always
Stacy.
do that, bro?
So after that wreck early in the race, how frustrated were you, and did you think you'd be able to drive all the way back up here, considering how hard it was to pass?
Yeah, I was frustrated because I was already getting frustrated with Geoturpin before that. I kind of put the blame on him in the moment. I don't know. It was kind of just it was a weird moment, but yeah, I thought I'd be able to drive my way back up there because I didn't realize at the time that that passing was actually so hard. I thought I'd just have enough speed to get back up there, but turned out that that wasn't the case. It was just incredibly hard to pass, and I figured that out the hard way. And yeah, but still pretty happy with that recovery drive still.
All right, Bryce Benton. Well, nice job here finishing in P4, top 5 finish, second straight top 5 after, of course, finishing second in Talladega last week. And we'll see you at Texas Motor Speedway in next week for the second to last race of the season.
Yep.
CJ, did you see the Samantha Bush thing?
Right. Who finished next after that?
Lorena.
Cameron Chandler?
Yes.
Yeah, Cameron Chandler. I
So
think.
Cameron Chandler actually has some choice words he has
Oh,
sent
wow.
to me in the radio. I will quote him. He said, "F
no.
that car and F NASCAR. Tell the stream that." So
Wow,
how are you
who is
feeling
that
about
car?
that, Ethan Trendler?
Who is that car? First
Well,
of all?
I'm guessing the next gen. He says car is a piece of
Who?
you can imagine.
Yeah, well,
Oh, and now he's coming over the radio again.
Well,
Wow.
thankfully he has next season for the Gen 4.
yeah, there's only
Uh,
2 races left with the Gen 6,
Yep.
Gen 7.
Thank
so.
good.
Hey,
Thank
Ethan
goodness.
Trendler, Cameron Chandler has said his hauler is broken and he can't go to the New Jersey Motor Park anymore.
Okay,
Or
wow.
there's no races, apparently.
You
That's
probably
what he
crashed
said.
it, Brody, like you do every Xfinity car. Anyways, next up is Zane Donahue.
The full throttle and I'll wreck it over. Looked like 2017 Kyle Busch out there. All right.
Welcome
Anyway,
in, Aiden Showtime Donahue. Driving the number 82 car. How are you feeling after the finish today at Dover Motor Speedway?
Horrible.
Yep, that's a
So-
reasonable response.
after that restart incident where you spun the tires, what was your mindset after that? Did you try to do any bold strategy moves to? Obviously, you know this car, the Gen 7 at Dover, you can barely pass due to the dirty air. How did you try to get back? Try to have a battle with top 5. Obviously, Cameron Chen there passed you. How did you climb back to your position and work your way up the field?
Well, the reason why Cam passed me is because Bryce took me out. But no, after I did that, that was really stupid on my part. That was really embarrassing. But after we pitted and got 4 tires, fixed the damage, I tried to pass as many people as I could. Stalled out about 7th, finished about 6th. So yeah, that was basically it for me. If it was a bold strategy call, I would have went back and changed. I would have taken 2 tires on that final pit stop and won the race because with this next gen car anywhere, if you're stuck behind someone, that's it. You're not going anywhere on any racetrack at all ever with this car. This car is horrible, and I cannot wait until next season to where we get the Gen 4 car.
Yep. That's a great take. We are all ready for the Gen 4 car.
I
Except
think he
he's
pretty much just. Well, yeah, because he's next gen merchant.
All right. Sad race for you, Aiden Showtime Donahue, but we'll see you either at one of the next races or probably next season in the Gen
Yeah.
4 car.
Yeah, it's gonna be next season. I was supposed to race Homestead, but no, that's it. I'm done.
Wow.
Understandable with
Well,
this car.
Yeah.
Hope you
yep.
have a great 2 weeks and great break and back into the Gen 4. Hope your
Yes, sir.
practice sessions go well and all that stuff.
Can't wait for December.
All right. See you, driver.
See ya.
All right, coming
All
up
right.
next, Cole Clausen, I believe. He finished 14th.
Hey, CJ, get pacing in the interview here.
Okay.
I need Cole Clausen finishing 14th. So we saw, obviously, you were up there battling with the top 10. I think your highest position was 11th. You had a pretty good second half of the race. Describe how you kind of got yourself up to that position, because we saw you struggling in the first half. Tried some bold strategies. How'd you get up all the way up to 11th?
Yeah, well, this car was as slow as the Minnesota State Patrol chasing me down after I was speeding in a school zone. I mean, the dirty air was so bad to the point where I would rather have 67 cautions than have to deal with that. I also hate Juan Cobbs now because, first of all, I was gonna get a great, or what was I gonna say? I was gonna get a great finish until he decided to be autistic and wreck himself. And second of all, he decided that being 5 laps down means that he can air block me for dead last. So I don't know what to say, but we'll go on over to Texas next week in our Bucky's car and rip around there like a lasso.
Brody Webster. All right.
Oh my god.
What that was.
So
Oh,
about
man.
the school speeding incident, were you ever fined of that or points penalty taken from that incident?
Well, I mean, I ran away from the Minnesota State Patrol, so I'm all good. No
He's in
fines, no
Dover.
penalties.
He's in Dover. He's in Dover.
Nah, this was like on my way to Dover. I drove all the way from Minnesota on over to Dover, and I went through a school zone on my way over here, and they caught me going about around 250 miles an hour in a 25. But I escaped, so you might not see me next week, but who knows? I think I'm good though.
All right, Cole Clausen. Well, nice job on the finish tonight, and we'll see you for the penultimate
Oh
race.
no!
All right, I'm gonna get out here. See ya.
Wow.
Don't think Brody Webster should have clicked that button.
I didn't think about
Andrew
it.
Stacy
before I
joins the
clicked it.
interview room. We have an announcement. I'm going full time
Hey,
next season. Boom.
Zane, we already knew that. Hey, bring
Out
Zane
the
Roman
way.
in here. Let's just say
Zane
he sucks. We'll
Roman.
go to bed.
Zane Roman. Great finish. We
Tonight.
finished 15th. Tell me how your day went.
Hey, and the points.
Below?
Nice try.
Banana?
Um,
Okay, that's not. Rail fan! Rail fan!
Alright, well, it doesn't look like Zane Ramen.
Zane, no, he's here. He clicked the mute button. All right, like, can you put us in Morse code? Like you know Morse code?
in Morse code. Hey, so one mute is yes and two mutes are no. So how are
Did
you
your
feeling?
car plow?
You can't ask a how question if you can just do yes or no's. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Drag him back in here.
Oh,
he's
he
gone.
left.
Oh, he's
Nope,
gone,
he's
and
back.
All right, drag him back in here. He's in the waiting room.
Zane Ramon, the #1 car, did not finish #1. He finished 15th.
Hey, he
lap
stole
down.
my car, by the way, Ethan Trendler. Look at my name.
Okay.
What?
Look at my
Why are you
name.
#1? The only
took my
#1 you
number.
are in is that Spanish project.
That was a great project. Hey, I don't have school tomorrow.
Okay. Finish the interview, please.
Yeah, I don't either, buddy.
Hey, bring him in here. I can't. I told you.
No, I'm getting interviewed. I'm Zane Rahman.
Oh, all right. You're Zane Rock. Hey, how does it feel to be plowing all day today and finish 15th in the points?
It feels good. I love My Little Ponies. We were lapped down for a bit.
Jeez
We were
Louise.
kind of a
Bring him
moving
in
wrecking
here,
ball.
Ethan. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm supposed to do that?
Yes. I
Oh.
told you I couldn't do it.
Zane
Hello,
Rahman,
Zane
over
Rahman.
here.
Oh my gosh.
My audio's working.
All right, Zane
Yeah, it is
Rahman,
this guy.
P15 in the points for today. Tell me how your car felt and how did you think you did overall?
Well, I'm at least thankful that I managed to finish the race this time. I mean, I got wrecked out like what two times in a row like this week. So, yeah.
Did you ever feel like wall riding with that paint scheme?
Okay.
Even if I wanted to, it still wouldn't work.
Brody Webster, ask him a question.
So Zane Rahman, what happened yesterday to you? Like, I know you got wrecked out, but what did you flip or like do something
That was Max
fun
DeFilippi.
sounding?
Well, I did see someone familiar just to you. Like, someone came up the track and right into me, so. I don't know.
Wait, did I take you out?
Yeah, you kind of took me out. You hit
Brody Webster.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we have beef.
All that just for not even to
Well,
finish in the top 20.
Nice try.
The full
Hey.
throttle wreck.
Yeah, hey, I was in the top 10 and I wanted to win, so
You were
yeah,
not in the
I was
top
gonna-
10. You were
I
in the
just wanted
11th.
just to finish the damn thing clearly. That's it. Well, not
I wanted someone not to full throttle me while I'm fully stopped on the apron.
You were not. Andrew,
I was
you were not
stopped 90 degrees.
You were literally hitting the inside
You know what?
wall
Bring
when I
Cameron
hit
Chandler
you.
in here. We're having like a debate
Oh,
about
no.
this entire race.
Cameron
This is not
Chandler
gonna end
is
well.
crashing out after this race. He's not coming in here.
He got a top 5. He'll be fine.
I know,
No?
but
Okay.
that's not good enough for him.
Cameron
He's-
Chandler's not locked into the next round. He's plus 30.
Oh. Well. All he needs is like 2 stage points. I think he'll be good.
3.
Yeah, I mean he can get a
Yeah,
top
I think
10
you'll probably be
card.
fine.
Yep, exactly what
Brody
Xavier
Webster, how
said.
was your day today? You finished solid P22. 200 laps down. Tell me about the race.
It was great. You know, I didn't race any of the race. You know, the pit crew they cut my brake lines. You know, the CWR team is
Did
just
they put on the
terrible.
wrong sides of the tires like Mark chose?
Yeah, you know, my right front was on my left rear,
yeah.
and they were flipping.
Oh,
them
I
all
forgot you're
around.
an MTJ fan. My
So they just
bad.
packed up and left.
Yeah. They were as good as you know, Carson Osavar's pit crew.
But Carson Osavar's pit crew is actually kind of decent.
Yeah, he is, but Spire sucks. So.
No, I think Carson Osavar is just kind of mid.
No, wait till they sign. You know.
Daniel Suarez.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I didn't want to say it. All right, Ethan Trendler, you know, you can end the stream now. I hope everyone has a great night, and
we say goodbye to the live, not welcome. Boom, that's my thing now. We say goodbye to the live.
hey,
Oh my gosh.
wait till this commentary booth comes in the last round.
Homestead.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm gonna have a private interview with me and the champion by myself. So nice try.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
Nah, that just
Do we
sucks.
have 3 pit reporters?
So maybe.
Yep.
All right. Anyways, I'll go end this broadcast. then.
Brody Webster.
Anyways,
staying-
that will do it tonight. What a race. 2 drivers now locked into the championship for Matthew White, Braden Hunsaker teammates. Braden Hunsaker, of course, won both races. Matthew White locks himself in on points. Cameron Chandler plus 30 needs 3 stage points or 2 stage points, and then the pole position to lock himself in at Texas can do that pretty easily, I would say. And then Dylan Banks plus 10 over Ashton Miller, John Butler minus 19, Sean Hilpich minus 21, and Trenton Wilkin all the way back minus 22. Needs a lot from those 2 drivers. So that'll do it tonight from the Dover Motor Speedway. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series playoffs from Dover. 1 more to go before the Championship 4, and we all get underway next week at Texas Motor Speedway for the Xfinity Series on Wednesday, the Cup Series on Thursday. That'll decide both those 2 Championship 4 fields, and then of course Lobby is going to be on next Friday night. So that'll do it. On behalf of all officials, team owners, commentators, drivers, everybody involved making this league what it is, what a night in Dover. We'll see you next week, starting off Wednesday from the Texas Motor Speedway. Good night from Dover, Delaware. We'll see you in Texas.